Was good. It's your boy Fanon. Gonna do a live stream this morning. Hope all's well. Hope everybody enjoyed the bout this weekend. On this Friday. What's good, Gary Misso? How you feeling, man? Hope you're well, man. Hope we have a good conversation this morning. Didn't feel like doing a video about this Prograis stuff and going through all the editing necessary to do it, so I thought I would just do a real-time conversation, man. Oh, Colonel Dirk Urkel says I got the notification. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm gonna take a second. What's good, Pasha Blaine? How you feeling this morning, man? Cornelius Littlejohn, Fernanda Don, what's good? That's good. I'm glad to hear you guys are doing well. Man, that was a tough fight last night, man. Yeah, Gary Mead says very valid point. You know, it's a point that has been brought up by some people on my Twitter feed that asked me. Actually, a cat hit me on the Twitter feed this morning and asked me what I thought about that. So I thought, before that ball gets rolling, we got to have a good conversation about it, man. Yeah, it was good. The Rich Gang in the house, man. I thought it'd be, what's good, Corey Lee Boxing? Head to the bank. Hey, let's go. You made some money on that, huh? Hey, appreciate. Rashid Town said appreciate all the live chats. It's all good, man. It's much. I enjoy doing it, man. I was actually, thinking about doing a different one this morning. That's like, because I've been doing, after somebody hit me up about that South African land dispossession thing, man, I really started paying attention to it. And that's that's really interesting, man. That's the first thing in a while that got me off of boxing for 4 or 5 hours of studying, man. It was really interesting. Eric Harris says, Fanon, peace. To the answer to the title question, hell no. That's what's up. Hey, y'all, hit the like button on your way in, man. Remember what I asked you about Prograis? I forget. Fahim Sator, remind me, man. Remind me. What's good, Trey X? How you feeling this morning, man? I'm trying to have a good conversation this morning. H-Town, Fanon, to show the show, man. Love that knockout last night. Yeah, that was credible, man. It was. Hey, man, I appreciate that, St. Cruising. Live chats are the best, man. I didn't feel like doing all that editing, man, and I just did a video. Crazy as it is, I'm gonna try to, be able to see this real time. So forgive me, it might take me a couple seconds to do it, but man, every time I get a video that does 15,000 or something like that, man, I always get a bunch of dudes saying stuff that I ain't really trying to hear, man. So I figured this morning I would just take it with the home crowd, man. All right, okay, I'm about to mute that. All right, so cool. So I can watch it on this channel and I can see the likes. Hey, we got 43 people in the house with 17 likes, man. Hit up the like or the dislike, either one, man. And if you got a couple seconds, make up your mind and let me know what the deal is, man. But I do appreciate the likes, man. It does help the channel. I realize. I didn't realize it helped the channel like that, but it does. Remember what I asked you about Prograis? Oh, I did an impressive win, put Prograis at the top of 140. Hey, Ronald Finkel, thank you very much for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. And Fahim Sator, did it put him at the top of 140? Hey, man, in that fashion, it wakes everybody up. You got to, hey, man, I think pretty soon we're gonna start having to make conversations about, look, Mikey Garcia, hey, man, if he gets through the fight with whoever, I think he has to fight the winner of Emir Imam and Jose Ramirez. If he gets past the winner of that fight, because I do think that that's the next one, then hey, man, it's going to be talks, man, about, if people don't start fighting Regis Prograis, he's going to get ducked. He's going to get ducked, man. That's going to be like, are you ducking him? He's a real dude, man. I'm hoping now that he can get on a Saturday night when you can get a little more noise around him. Because I'm checking out the videos. It's like, for the most part, Regis Prograis still within the hardcore fan base is starting to know who he is, starting to see what he's about. But, man, that was an impressive performance. I hate it for Julius Ndungo to get taken out like that, man, and just look like for real, like he doesn't belong in the ring with those guys, man. I mean, that's what I saw last night with Ndungo. And I see that Blood put up a video. I don't think it was available in the U.S. That, he goes back to Namibia. He's going to head back to Namibia, having had a hard knock over here in the United States, man. But shout out to Ndungo, man. D Niesel said Regis beat Ndungo better and easier than Crawford, and that's facts. Yeah, but he beat him afterwards, and the book was out on him. That's the only thing that I would say about that. Once he saw that he couldn't take it, that's what I saw heading into the fight. If you can't take a body shot and people know you can't take a body shot, that's pretty much what happened, man. Dude got up in there, up inside there, man, and tore his body up. That little frame couldn't handle it, man. So, hey, man, but at the same time, it's not like, as far as Terrence Crawford, it's not like Terrence Crawford had, well, two things. Number one, it's not like Regis Prograis some bum, because he's not. Regis Prograis, is a real deal, and he announced himself, man, definitely to the hardcore boxing fans. I've been doing videos on him for a while, but, man, I'm really glad to see that he had this performance so people can start catching on his name. Shout out to New Orleans and all the cats that support him there. But, so, and the fact that, Terrence Crawford didn't have any problem with him, so I don't think that it should take the dudes, it should really affect Terrence Crawford. Although if Terrence Crawford was still at 140 pounds, I'd be wanting to see that. Regis Prograis, because Regis Prograis been calling out Terrence Crawford for a long time, man, and that might have been the hardest fight that Terrence Crawford got at 140 pounds from what I'm seeing out of Prograis. St. Cruz says Lipinets tonight, first for Garcia, he should win. Yep, I think he should. We get a belt, and we'll see what's good with it. Rayler 5M, good day, Fanon. I'm kind of new to your site. I really appreciate your insight on boxing as a whole, in and outside the ring. Hey, man, my pleasure, man. We talk boxing. We'll talk about other things. I'm really trying to stay away from that whole dispossession thing in South Africa. That is wild, man. Somebody asked me about that. I was kind of on the Nigeria, like I was peeping what was going on in Nigeria for a good bit, but then, man, that's wild, man. I think that might come to a head, man. These cats are trying to bring that to a head. But anyway, Ndungo was an 8-1 underdog against Crawford, a 4-1 underdog against Prograis. How good is Ndungo really? Yeah, I think that's a very solid. I think that's a very solid point, man. I think that's a very solid point. And obviously, man, well, I mean, he was good enough to get his hands on two of the belts, right? He was good enough to beat Ricky Burns. He was good enough to beat, I think, Troyaski in the UK. I mean in the USSR. So, he was good enough to do that, man. So he's probably a second tier 140-pound fighter, man. But he got exposed. I mean, and that's the difficult thing. When somebody knows how to approach you and they know how to beat you, then it's gonna be trouble for you, man. And I think in a large way, it's kind of like, I think what might happen with Bivol and Sergey Kovalev. Andre Ward exposed that Sergey Kovalev doesn't like it to the body. And if you get up close to him and you can rough him up on the inside, then you have a good chance to be able to do that against Sergey Kovalev. But Sergey Kovalev, having the promoter that he has and the network behind him that he has, he didn't have to go in real steep. He didn't have to go in deep, right away. I think it might have been better for Regis Prograis, for Ndungo to take a few fights, man, a few easier fights, get himself acclimated, get your midsection right, man. Get your midsection right, get your game right. But then, he jumped into the deep waters twice, man, and it's tough. Ndungo was trying, man. Mike, main boxing biker, what's happening, man? It's all good over here. Fatur, Lipinets is Fahim Satur says Lipinets is a dead man walking. Yeah, I agree, man. I don't know. We'll see. I'll hold it out a little bit because dude does look like he got a little bit of athleticism. I forget who his trainer is, but his trainer's feeling, sounds confident, like people are underestimating him. And we'll see what's happening, man. We'll see what's happening. Rory Tabori, Prograis is the truth, landed like 23 body shots. Yeah, he knew what to do. He's like, man, I'm about to tear this dude's body up. He can't take a body shot. So the book was out on him, and he did what he's supposed to do. Fahim, I hear you. I hope they get it popping. I think that, Ramsey's must be, Tough 2 says maybe Ramsey's Bartholomew versus Prograis if Ramsey wins tonight. Yeah, that would be good. Ramsey Bartholomew can throw, man. For sure. Curtis Anderson, what's good, man? Fanon, Prograis took out an undefeated Diaz with ease. Yeah, hey man, I'm liking Prograis, man. Hey, I'm liking Prograis. Hey, yeah, Carl said hit smash the like button. We got 74 people in here. Good crowd, good conversation going on. Hit the like button, man, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I guess I got to turn my thing off. I'm gonna get buzzed up. I'll get buzzed all day. P Money says Trey X facts. Salute for him for his accomplishments, but I just don't think he has a very good advertising. He's too sloppy. All right, I'm not quite sure what that is. I go try to go to Fanon. Oh, Trey X, Fanon. I don't think Ndungo needs a book. Most skinny guys don't like body shots. Respect to Ndungo, but he doesn't pass my eye test. I can respect that. Definitely, I can respect that. Yeah, he's got a little frame, man. That's for dang sure. He dang sure got a little frame. Corey Fanon, what's going on with the South Africa? Yeah. There's a I don't want to sidetrack the thing too much, but pretty much the Congress, the Parliament of South Africa has voted on a resolution to allow for dispossession of farmland, of privately held farmland, for no compensation and return it to the ownership of the government. Basically, taking land back that was taken when the Dutch came into South Africa. So it's a bunch of European or Dutch or Afrikaans. I think it's Afrikaans or is what they call them. Trying to be politically correct here. And they're trying to basically take the land from them without giving any type of compensation in exchange for it. And so there's it passed in Parliament. I think they're trying to, and now it goes before the Supreme Court. That might not be what it's called in South Africa, but it goes before the court to see about a constitutional amendment that will allow them to do that. There's some argument on one side that they don't need it. They don't need a constitutional amendment to do it. Another group says, yes, we do need a constitutional amendment for it. And so they're basically in a peaceful manner trying to repossess land that was taken during colonialism. And I think, in the late 1800s. So it's just a lot of that stuff there. So, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the history of South Africa, but, 1994, it was the official end of apartheid. And but the land never went back. Never, so I think it's like 10% of the population owns 90% of the land, right? So they're like, nah, we need the land back. Real Mun said it was stolen and colonized. Pretty much that's the subject matter of it. So it's just watching the parliamentary procedures. They are real interesting, man. It's real interesting. It's a dangerous situation, but it's a real dangerous situation. Fanon, I think Regis would have beat Ndungo even if Crawford did beat him first. It doesn't matter, and it would be a demand, and we would be demanding the fight. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, hey man, I would really like. I kind of wish Terrence Crawford didn't go to 147 now, because clearly, man, he would have some business to take care of down there at 140 pounds with Regis Prograis. That would be real interesting to see what would happen with that. I think that'd be his toughest fight at 140. And I definitely like what Regis Prograis said about why Postal pulled out. Postal didn't want that treatment. Man, Regis Prograis looks good, man. Looks hungry, looks good. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with him, man. Hopefully it won't be some situation where he gets avoided. And Mikey Garcia makes up a reason not to fight him because of whatever, looking for bouncing between 135 and, 140. Hey, man, I'd like to see him in there against Vasily Lomachenko, man. That'd be great. That'd be a great fight. See if Lomachenko want to move up there 140 and get with him. I'm sure he can beat him. That'd be easy money for Vasily. Corey Lee Fanon, okay, they need to do that there in America, a lot like my Native Americans need to do here. Yeah, that's going to be a whole lot tougher cause over here, man. They made sure. Black Horse, Crawford could still go down and fight him. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I'd like to see it if he got the belts, man. But, I think, he's got his eyes set on 147. I have a suspicion that, making weight at 140 pounds probably was a little bit difficult for Terrence, for Bud. But it would be cool. It would be cool to see. Uh, Scholar Bakken says Prograis can easily become unified by this time next year. Yeah, well, I don't know how easy it is if cats don't get in the if cats don't get in the ring with him. You know what I mean? They have to get in the ring with him to make it hot like that. But hey, I think he has ability. I mean, I favor him over Amiri Mom, and I'd favor him over Jose Ramirez. Sup, King Ja? I'm rolling really slow on this, man, because I'm watching this. I guess I'm flipping back and forth between things. Excuse me, man. Make sure. Yeah, sup, hey, pound to hey, what's good to the LDBC out there, man? I was checking out that Real Good podcast this morning with them brothers on there acting A. Coach Sheldon Harris comes raw on 78 Sports TV's channel, huh? That dude comes raw with it, man. Comes real raw with it. Buddy McGirt can't fight for lipping this. That's what Fahim Satur said. Yeah, that's right. But King J. Raw, what's happening? What's happening? Big Chief, nah, I think RG would have needed a film more fights before Terrence Crawford. Don't want to end up like Lubin. Oh, okay. RG is who's RG? Is that Regas? Prograis? Maybe I'm missing something. Prograis versus Garcia. Hey, man, I want to see it. I don't know. I'm telling you this. I'll tell you this. It's a lot harder fight for Mikey Garcia than Adrian Bronner is. I wouldn't mind seeing that, dog. Hey, I'll tell you this. Adrian Bronner definitely better stay away from Regas Prograis. Stay as far as you can away from that, man. Stay as far as you can. Black Heavyweight had to go to Mod Squad. I'm sure what that is, but it's funny. All right, man. I'm not sold. Okay, this is cool. Maurice McElroy said, I'm not sold on Prograis just yet. I see power, but I think Mikey beats him and Crawford stops him. I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything that would make me believe that somebody's going to stop him. I got to see. I mean, he does. He's a come forward fighter. He gets in his, he's going to get in your chest. He's going to bring the fight to you. And I mean, I like the head movement from what I saw, and his willingness to engage. But I mean, right now, I don't know, man. I would clearly favor Crawford to win that fight just because Crawford's got so many different angles, and he's more experienced and he's just well known, man. But, I'm okay with saying, we'd have to see more from him, right? I think that's fair, but I hope that we get to actually see more from him. Hey, we got 103 people in the live stream, man. We got 58 likes. Hit the like button when you come in, or the dislike, because I don't have any dislikes. So if you don't like it, hey man, hit the dislike button too. That works just as well. Just want to get some activity going, see what's happening. Scholar Boxing, I think Ndungo needs a strength coach. Yeah, if he does any lifting, he's not gonna be able to make 140 pounds, man. And I don't know, he definitely don't want it up at 147. Suave House Boxing, what's good, man? And we got Harry Ferguson in the house. What's good, Harry Ferguson? Let me try to get back here, make sure I got. I think I'm on the. I'm on the one that was going a little slow. Yeah. Actually, man, this is so crazy, man, because I have to have two screens open in order to actually see this in real time. What I'm getting on the behind the scene ones is a lot slower. Ryan Finkel say, what's up? Let's get these likes up, people. Yeah, man, much appreciated. So yeah, man. Town Business 2, not sure what's up. For 9, let me look for 9. Bodywork will do Thurman in with Spence. All right, man. So we got St. Cruzan talking about what's the conversation with Thurman versus Spence, man. I don't think dude wants that, man. Honestly, the longer that goes, the more likely I'm thinking that Keith Thurman's gonna stop him. I mean that Errol Spence Jr. is gonna stop him. And I definitely know Mikey Garcia don't want to go up there and get that, man. But tonight's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be an exciting night of fights. I'm looking forward to see Rancis Bartholomew. I think, he's a 140 as well. So, man, there's a lot of good work up there, man. I did a video not too long ago with my man Nino Brown Boxing. We talked about the 140-pound division. Actually, I'm sorry, I got to correct. We were talking about the 154-pound division. Junior middleweight division. These kind of tweener. So yeah, 140 pounds is starting to look a little better, man. Especially if Mikey Garcia decides, to stay there. If Mikey Garcia decides to stay there, then that's going to be, that can really have a lot of good. That can have a lot of stuff going on over there, man. I just hope that he makes up his mind about what he wants to do. And then of course you got Emir Imam and yeah. I mean, there's some good people there, man. I guess kind of now I wish Terrence Crawford had stayed. Now that we got to see, now I got to see my boy up there, Regis Prograis, looking like a star. We got Comey. Hey, Comey's fighting too, right? What weight is Comey fighting at today? What fight is Comey fight? A natural American XR7. What weight class is that Comey fight at? Is that at lightweight, or is he at 140 pounds? Fight World 27. Fanon, how do you feel about the Canelo failed drug test? I think that it is a disgrace on a lot of different levels, man. I think that it's a disgrace on a lot of different levels. One, I think it's a disgrace because Canelo Alvarez should know better. I'm not really feeling. Thank you for the answer on the weight class for that 135. I'm not really feeling. I'm not feeling the excuse, because Canelo Alvarez knows that you have clenbuterol in the meat at certain places in Mexico. Why is he eating it? You know what I mean? Oh, don't forget Quigg versus Valdez for sure. Shout out to the super chat, Curtis Anderson. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Only problem is Scott Quigg came in like 3.5 pounds. Would he come 2.5 pounds over? So yeah, but I'm down for that too. I think that's on Coach's fire away from the PG site. Yeah, yeah, dog. From his PG site, dog. He went down. But yeah, oh my God, man, that was hilarious, man. I might, let me get on somebody's channel so I can act a damn fool. Because I can act a fool now. Oh, man, I let it go on my channel every once in a while. But yeah, Curtis Anderson, thanks for the super chat for sure. I'm not going to forget about it. You guys let me know who you think's going to get. I got Valdez over Quigg. But I think Quigg might have been trying to play some games, man, get a little extra weight on him so he could have a better shot at winning by cheating. That's a cheat move, man. You come over that big, man. Come on, dog. But, Valdez, from what I've seen, man, I really liked him a lot. I think he's starting to get hit too much. But, we'll see what's going on, man. I think that'll be good. That'll be a good fight, too. We got some good fights coming on today, so I'm looking forward to that. Fanon, it's not a walk in the park for Mikey. That's mark my word. That's Eric Harris. I can agree with that. But let me back onto this Canelo Alvarez thing. First of all, I got to do a disclaimer here before I go in on Canelo Alvarez. As many people in this channel might know, I am a closet Canelo Alvarez fan. And the reason I say I'm a closet Canelo Alvarez fan is because I'm stuck every time I talk about him, because I got to think about Golden Boy Promotions. I do not like Golden Boy Promotions. I'm not a fan of Oscar De La Hoya as a promoter at all. I think they play a lot of games with Canelo Alvarez's fight. It's all of that nonsense, from the open scoring he had one fight to how the hell he got a draw on a card against Floyd Mayweather Jr. Shout out to the super chat, man. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Hopefully Mikey didn't eat any of that tainted meat. Yeah, Suave House Boxing, that's what's up. Yeah, exactly. But he can't pull it. See, that's along that lines too. He can't pull that because he's living in California, right? But if you're in Mexico, you get a pass. That's just some nonsense to me. But like I said, getting back on my thought, and thank you, Suave House Boxing. Shout out to the super chat, much appreciated. Lost my train of thought. I'm a closet Canelo Alvarez fan, man. I love what the dude does in the ring. I love his approach to boxing. I think he's super talented, man. And just for real, I like what he's doing. But I don't like the fact that, I want to see him in there with Charlo. I really do like that dude. I do like how he fights. Okay, so if the fact that I'm hesitant at all in criticizing Canelo Alvarez is because I like Canelo Alvarez and what he does in the ring. Okay? And there's very much a chance that he could have made a mistake and, ate some steroided up beef, right? Okay, there's a chance of that. However, a positive test is a positive test, man. A positive test is a positive test. And the way that the WBA handled it, the way that the WBC handled it, the way that Gennady Golovkin handled it by continuing with the fight, right? And allowing it to be known that, hey, man, if your fight's enough money on the table, if the money's enough on the table, then I'll keep the fight going on. Real Mud says, he's a cheat. I'll tell you, man, he tested positive. See, what I like to do is this, and I want to do the same thing for anybody. I'm only going to try to say what I know. Oh, man, Juliet Man said, you do not get that much clenbuterol from meat. It doesn't matter. It's illegal. That's my point, man. Look, the fact that he tested positive for it and it's in his system. That's what I do know. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thanks, Real Mun. That's what I do know. I can't say I know he cheated. I can't tell you that I know it because I don't know it. And I got to be fair because so many people will do the same thing when they talk about, other fighters that I might want to defend them on. But if I say that if I go beyond that with Canelo Alvarez, then I can't take that. But I can tell you what I know. I know the dude had clenbuterol in his system. The WBA and the WBC, without any type of real investigation, and I mean real investigation, like go over there. Where did you ate it? Where'd you eat the meat? When did you eat the meat? Who sold it to you? Let me see your receipts. Let me go interview the people that said that you ate it, and we're gonna make sure that we can document and have a thorough investigation as to whether or not what you're saying is true. Just like they did with Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz had a doctor had to show up with a note. He had to show up with a doctor's note and say, look, I gave this to him and I gave it to him. And here are the medical records to support his high blood pressure and why I put him on it. That's the circumstance. But what did the WBA do? The WBA still stripped him and suspended him, even though there was an investigation done by the WBC. But in this case, the WBA doesn't do any type of investigation, and it's like, oh, it's all good. That's my beef with the circumstance. But I can't go, and like I said, man, I'm a closet Canelo fan. I hate Golden Boy Promotions. I can't stand them. But dog, Canelo Alvarez can fight. I know you guys said that he's flat-footed. Yeah, he ain't got the best lateral movement in the world, but dog, he's so slippery, man. He's real hard to hit, dude, standing right in front of you. And I gotta respect the skills, dog. I gotta respect the skills. I'm not gonna sit here and say Canelo Alvarez is not the real deal. Canelo Alvarez is the real deal, man. That dude can fight. And even though I think I want to see him in there with Charlo, I would love to see him in with Danny Jacobs. I love to see him in there against Billy Joe Saunders. I love to see them against all those dudes. I'm going to be real. That dude can fight, man. That dude can fight. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no power, but he can fight, man. But I'm just saying he can fight, right? There's some cats that I do think are overrated, and I'll be like, hey, man, come on, man. Let's not get all out of sorts with this dude, like, whatever. I won't go into the names of those cats. But, at the end of the day, though, I got to say, it's real suspicious, dog, the way that stuff went down, man. And the way that the media, the mainstream media treated it, that's inexcusable. The way the WBA handled it is inexcusable. The way that the WBC handled it is inexcusable. The way that GGG is handling it is inexcusable. Because if you know for certain that somebody popped, why are you fighting, man? Why are you fighting? The dude did pop. That's not a question. They popped. Why'd you fight him? So it is whatever, man. Hey, Fanon, you should have stayed in the closet. No pun intended. Hey, man, I am not in that type of closet. Canelo is way overrated. President makes him a big ticket seller, period. Now his career is suspect. Hey, man, I have no doubt that what he looks like has a lot to do with why he's pushed. No doubt about it. I don't have any doubt about that. That's a different argument. But see, I say the same thing here. I don't care about how popular somebody is. I don't really care about, how many Twitter followers he has. I'll do videos on how many tickets you sell, not tickets. I've never really cared about tickets. I just mention it to kind of take other people's stuff away. I don't care about all that. But if I look at Canelo Alvarez in the ring, man, that dude can fight, man. All right, the dude can fight. Whether or not he can beat Charlo is something different. You know what I mean? So, like, even if you look at the fact that Islandi Lara, he beat Islandi Lara, and I think he lost to Islandi Lara, right? So, but the fact is, dude, he fought a competitive fight, and you can make an argument that he beat Islandi Lara. He got in the ring with Austin Trout. I think Austin Trout won the fight, but dang, dog, the dude, you could say he made an argument that he could have beaten him. And the fact that he could have beaten Islandi Lara and Austin Trout right there tells you, number one, he takes difficult fights, right? He takes difficult fights. I do think he gets the benefit of the doubt sometimes, and I wouldn't have gave him the benefit of the doubts, but, he ain't somebody that's just pure, this ain't Prince Nassim Hamed, all right? Because I don't care what cats from the UK say, Prince Nassim Hamed sucked. That dude was getting knocked down before he got beat up by Antonio Barrera. As a boxer, he sucked. I wasn't impressed with Prince Nassim Hamed at all. And that was a guy that was, hyped to the gills. Because, he had a lot of flash outside the ring or whatever. But, it is what it is, man. That's my take, man. But, like I said, I want to stay in the closet with Canelo. I like how Canelo fights, man. He has a little bit of James Toney in him to me. And, just the way that he can avoid punches and counter punches. The dude fights extremely well off the ropes. There's a lot of things about him, man. I think that dude can go, man. Chill with what? If we dissing the Mexican fighters, man, you got to go, dog. For real, man. Because, let's not disrespect, man. There's a lot of great Mexican fighters, man. They can fight. And I'm not saying that corny stuff Abel Sanchez says, man. Like, oh, the only way you can be a Mexican style is get punched in the face and act like you don't know how to box. That's not the case. The guy that was just fighting, the Mexican fighter that I think beat Soroy Vasai, that dude was boxing and is a damn good boxer at that. He wasn't standing in there toe-to-toe with Roy Vasai. He was boxing, man. There's a lot of casting out there. Marco Antonio Barrera can box. Juan Manuel Marquez can box. Those guys aren't just out there just be punched in the face for the hell of getting punched in the face. Oh yeah, other Estrada. Dude, that dude can fight, man. That cat was slick when he needed to be slick. You know what I mean? When he needed to, he can do it. He ain't just taking him to the chin for the hell of taking him to the chin, man. Oh, Fakeem Satur said, I like Mexican fighters. I train with all Mexicans. Yeah, them cats some good dudes, man. Baltimore SK says, Mikey Garcia is the man. He's a Mexican-American. Yeah, he can fight. But we'll see what's going to happen with him with Rougarou, man. Don't duck Rougarou. Let's make it hot, man. That's my only thing with Mikey. Because, Mikey beat Adrian Bronner. He got his name up. He's got a legitimate on, he's got a name, a major name on his belt. Now let's get busy. He's going to fight Sergey Lipinets. I thought that Sergey Lipinets was the I think Sergey Lipinets was the easiest route he could have taken compared to Robert Easter and Jorge Linares. I don't know, maybe Jorge Linares, man. I'm not big on Jorge Linares, but he wants to go back there and fight Jorge Linares. Whatever's clever. But it is what it is, man. Let me go back to these comment sections. And Dungo was getting wobbled and dropped by jabs. Yeah, man, dude is hurt, man. Dude's getting hurt. That's for dang sure. And Dungo is for real. I said it before the fight, and I was right. Well, hey, man, the book was out on him, and he didn't do well. So, I ain't gonna call him out his name, man. But, hey, man, yeah, he should call Victor Conti, dog. That's a dude need to call Victor Conti. I'm trying to catch up with these comments on this other page. Sorry, I gotta take a sip of water. Hey, let me see what's happening over here on the like section. We got 86 likes, 122 people watching. This is cool. Love the amount of people we have in here, man. Let yourself be known. Say, make a comment. Like, dislike. We got 2 people disliking. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I know I have a suspicion I know who you are already. Y'all usually do tune in and dislike. But hey, man, love me or hate me, just say my name. You know how it goes. Let me try to get it back up in here. Yeah. Fanan, how you doing, brother? Oh, what's going on, Mr. Ibrahim? I like a collab you do with LDBC. Do you think Wilder should sign with Eddie Hearn to get the AJ fight? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. Hey, yes, Super DJ Fanan the GOAT, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. I need the ego boost. It's been a hard morning. My daughter was hot at me this morning. Because I wouldn't stand in a line with her for 5 hours, man. We got to get up on time, get that damn license. But no, I don't think he should, man. I really don't think he should sign with Eddie Hearn. Why? I mean, number one, man, Eddie Hearn's trying to, I heard what he's saying, like if he signed with me, whatever. No, what happened to Luis Ortiz when Luis Ortiz signed with Eddie Hearn? He went out to the UK, had a couple fights back to back, and he gave him trash, didn't keep his promise. He used the signing. In my opinion, it appears that Eddie Hearn used the signing of Luis Ortiz to keep him away from Anthony Joshua. So, nah, man, I wouldn't do that, man. And plus, at this point in time, the word on the street, shout out to the truth. Shout out to Dr. Blick, because now, we got access to some UK fans who can tell us, American fans and Boxing Channel, give us a little bit of view into what's going on in the UK, man. And the fact of the matter is, dog, hey, man, everybody over there in the UK seems to know who Deontay Wilder is now. Crazy. People know who he is now. Why? Because his name is getting mentioned there's nobody that's a fan of Anthony Joshua should know who everybody's trying to get in there, man. Yeah, Dr. Blick. Dr. Blick came with the truth, man. That better be a 5-minute contract. Oh, yeah, man. Man, don't even mess with him, man. Hey, by the way, man, Tunes Mania, what's good with you, my man? Welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if I've seen you on the channel before, but welcome to the channel, man. We appreciate a Canelo fan in the house. It ain't always. Hey, man, we don't, just like I always say, man, we do not always have to agree about everything. In boxing, you're not going to agree with everything that somebody says. There's hundreds and hundreds of boxers, right? Bunches of, hundreds of matchups, and you're not always going to agree with everybody on everything, man. You know what I mean? So that's all good, man. So why you might like Canelo and somebody else be like Canelo's a robber, guy, is whatever. You guys might agree on what's going on with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Hey, Camus Bentley, what's good, my man? He said Ndungo looked horrible. He looked like he got knocked out, dog. Yep, too. Just opinions, man. And we should be able to have those opinions and respect one another for that, man. Let me try to go back here. Fanan, just call me SK if you can remember. Oh yeah, SK, I got you. No worries, man. Thank you. Oh man, thanks for the super chat. We got a super chat. Super DJ 512 says you can't mention AJ without mentioning Wilder. He's known. Oh, for sure, dog. And here's the thing. Shout out to the channels that do it. Now I know I can get his opinion because I'm a bit of an expert. These cats that have the channels, they know Deontay Wilder. They know that Deontay Wilder is known because that's why they're doing the videos. Because when they do the videos on Deontay Wilder, they get good numbers on it. That's why they do the videos. Or very well. I'm not saying that they don't believe what they're saying, because I do believe they believe what they're saying. But at the same time, they know that those are the videos that are going to do decent numbers because they're trying to grow their channel. They're trying to give their audience what they want to hear. So they're going to give you and talk to you about the things that their audience, that their subscribers want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, I have subscribers on my channel, and I might just every once in a while say, you know what? I want to make a video about Mark Magsayo, right? And I would do it. Hey, the truth, what's good, my man? I might just make a video about Mark Magsayo. I want to see what Mark Magsayo's up to. When's the next time he's going to be coming to, the U.S. to fight. I'm hoping that eventually Mark Magsayo and Gervonta Davis can fight. You know how many people are going to be interested in Mark Magsayo on my channel? And I've done the videos. You can check. They're actually up, right? I know right there, man. Okay, it's going to be about 300 people that are going to watch that. And so I will do them because I know that there's about 300, maybe 400 people that subscribe to me that are interested in Mark Magsayo, right? The same people that might be interested in the Manny Pacquiao video about Bob Arum. And because, you know, you got analytics like that. So you know who, when you make a video, if you're servicing, you know, the people that are in your channel. So they know. If nobody had known about Deontay Wilder, they would never make a Deontay Wilder video. Because their fans wouldn't want to hear it. That's my point. They know they can read. You know, sometimes I question whether they can think. I'm seriously, man. But they can read. So they know what the deal is, man. They know Deontay Wilder is popular. Boxing is a more popular sport in the UK than it is in the United States compared to other sports, right? So it might not be, you know, as popular. I'm sure it's not as popular as football is in the UK or soccer, you know, depending on, you know, where you are, what you call that, right? I'm sure it's secondary to that. However, it is in the United States, it's like the fourth, you know, it's after football, it's after baseball, it's after soccer. I mean, it's after football, baseball, basketball, probably, you know, right around golf, probably a little, maybe right after golf. You know what I mean? So, come on, man. We know that y'all know Deontay. Carl Burrell says, Deontay Wilder going to whoop Anthony Joshua in 8 rounds or less. Hey, man, I don't know. I mean, I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight. And after it happens, if it's a good one, I want to see another fight. You know what I mean? I want to see a good one. I want to see a rematch. Fanon, it's popular in the UK. Oh, okay, Fanon, this is the truth. Who's from the UK? Fanon, it's popular in the UK, probably second or third. Yeah, so you got the second or third biggest sport, you know, in the UK. Then boxing, they know the heavyweights. You're going to wind up having them know who the boxers are. And let's not twist it either, man. In the UK, for the people who know that United States, the fighters in the US are known in the UK, man. They're known in the UK. And the funny thing is, for all that smack talking that these cats do about Deontay Wilder, hey, man, you sure do cover the other American fighters a lot. Don't love us when it's in your interest and hate us when it's not. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, you know, you can ride with Floyd, you can ride with Andre Ward, you can ride with, you know, Terrence Crawford. But then, hey man, when it hits Deontay Wilder, all of a sudden, you know, we don't know anything about boxing. And we don't even know who's popular and who's good in our own country. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Be fair with it. Hey, DJ say these dumb DJ. Hey man, thank you for the super chat, man. These dummies say he's known. He's unknown, yet doing nothing but talk about him, promoting him. Exactly, DJ. Exactly, man. But I understand it. You know, you got that love for your dude, man. Dopamine said, "Come on, man. Let me make sure." So, so they're flying him out not to make a fight, right? Oh, Dopamine. Let me see something. That's a good question. Let me see. Dopamine. Thinking that the fight isn't going to happen is predicated on the idea that Eddie Hearn doesn't like money, which is patently false. It's the biggest fight in boxing. No, it's actually the opposite of this, Dopamine. I'll tell you what. A shout out to that. And I respect. I'm going to argue with you for a second, but dog, I do respect your opinion. And I'm going to go back a couple, then I'll address it. Dopamine. And you don't think they're going to fight Wilder? Matchroom is literally flying him out to Cardiff. Let me make sure if we got anything. Joshua Parker has a world title. Okay, here you go, man. Look. First of all, you can use somebody to sell a fight and not fight them. Okay? You can use somebody to sell a fight and not fight them. And our case in point is Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They talked about that fight for about 5-6 years. And they used that fight to sell the other fights that they're in. And yes, Eddie Hearn does like money. So why would Eddie Hearn, if I'm Eddie Hearn, do what Bob Arum did? Milk it. And say, okay, yeah, we know what the big fights are. The big fights for Anthony Joshua are Deontay Wilder, and the big fight is Tyson Fury. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Deontay Wilder over, and Deontay Wilder can get in there. They can argue each other in the ring. We can build up tension for the fight. But then I'm going to fight somebody else. And we'll just keep the tension building up, because as long as there's anticipation about a fight, you keep intrigues for the fights that you currently have. That is an age-old technique. And I'm not saying that the fight won't happen. I'm saying that they're going to try to make sure that they have 4 or 5 fights where they can make that happen, and then they can make the fight. right? They're talking about whether, Jarrell Miller in the United States. Now, I will say this, though. The UK guys, you think that they're not going to come bring Anthony Joshua to the United States for that fight? Honestly, man, if I'm them, I would say, look, let's try to build up the fight and get the fight built enough where we can have that in Vegas. Because if that is the fight that winds up having the top guy in the heavyweight division, and Anthony Joshua is the guy that you really believe can beat Deontay Wilder, then you would build that fight up and say, I'm talking from the business side. I'm not talking from what I want to see. You could build that fight up and say, okay, I want to have that in Vegas, where we can sell 1 million pay-per-views in the UK. We can sell, because they're going to do the pay-per-views in UK too, so that number is going to be high there. You can also have 26, you can do, 4 times the gate in Vegas than you can in Wembley Stadium? Right? So why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't Eddie Hearn want to do that? The Truth says, Fanon, it would be like Ricky Hatton versus Mayweather 2 if it is held in Vegas. Exactly. That's why they would do it in Vegas, and they would want to build that fight. Now, I don't care about that. All I'm trying to do is lay down the logic about why I question. Hey, thank you, man. If you're talking about me making sense, I'm just talking about the logic. I'm not talking about what I want to see, dog. The Cali Enigma, what's good, my man? Thank you for the super chat, Fanon. I disagree with you. Hearn would make that fight quicker because he wants a trilogy. It would be all in-house revenue. If he signed, Cali, if he signed, then yes. If he signed with it, then yeah, he could do it, because then he would sign Deontay Wilder. He could get all those. But not if he's not signed, I would still say even if he is signed, even if it is in-house, he still might wait. But I appreciate what you're saying. When you say Hearn would make the fight quicker because he wants a trilogy, it would be all in-house revenue. Yeah. That's a valid argument, man. I can see that for sure. Respect. Trey X, hey man, once again, Cali Enigma. Hey, and check out the Cali Enigma's channel. Cali Enigma puts out them videos as well. Subscribe, like, hit the bell icon for my man, the Cali Enigma, man. Dude does good work, man. Hey, on duty, Greg Wyatt says, troll honey reporting for duty, man. We've been pretty troll free, man. We got 111 people in the house. Good conversation going on. Let me make sure. We got 121 people from what I can see on this other screen, actually, and 112 likes. Hit the like when you come in, man. That'd be much appreciated. That's what's up. Wilder need to sign with Golden Boy. Laugh my, I'm just joking. That's funny. Oh, we got another. Dang. Did I get a super chat that I missed? I did. I'm sorry, man. I'm really behind on this stuff when I'm looking at this other screen. Shoot. What's good, Rich Jones? I'm going to try to, it's going to take me a second. They got 123 people in the house, man. Let me, I got to move up to this, make sure I saw this. Super DJ, these dummies, Super DJ 512, what's good, man? Thank you again, man. These dummies say he's unknown, yet they do. Okay, that was an older one, but thanks again, man. I'm a little confused. If I go over the super chats again, that's because I'm getting these 2 screens up. Cali Enigma, all right, cool. All right, I'm all up to date, man. Thank you, guys. AJ is a free agent. I think he's got 2 more fights. What's good, Rich Jones? All right, I'm just going to stick to one screen. We got 127 people in the house, 121 likes. That's what's up. All right, I'm just going to stick with one screen so I can stop confusing myself, man. I'm trying to be tech savvy, man, and I'm not making it today. Not making it at all. Real good conversations going on here today, though. Troll free zone precedes this room. Oh, man, absolutely, man, it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, when they come in, like they know. They're like, shit, you're going to get thrown out for that. Let's bounce somewhere else. Thank you. We got to keep it free. Easy D, 415. What's good, man? Crawford laughing at the doubters on Twitter. Oh, is something going on with them because of this? Because how Dundungo got done? Would be funny, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it? Rich Jones, still working. See you putting in that work, man. Yay, man. We're out here talking this boxing, that's for sure. Ron Solo, 08, Fanon International Boxing. Knowing now that Bud Crawford walked around at almost 180, do you see his ascension at 147 leaves rooms for questions? I mean, his ascension at 147 is going to be leaving questions until he does it. You know what I mean? He needs to make sure that he does it, man. That he gets it right. You know, he's got to beat Jeff Horn #1. Then he's got to see if Bob Arum will let him get in the ring with the other cats at 147 pounds, because they're all over on the other side of the room. I think the biggest what do you call it, barrier to him becoming the top guy at 147 is probably promotional issues. I remember watching Terrence after the fight between Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. Terrence Crawford was in a room, like somebody was recording what was going on in the ring. It might have been either Boxing Ego or Dante's Boxing Nation was in a locker room with Andre Ward and recording conversations that were going on. And Andre Berto, I think it was Andre Berto, was talking to Terrence Crawford, and he said, it's not that Andre Berto was talking to Terrence Crawford and say, hey, it's not about people not wanting to fight you. It's like they don't want to go through the bullshit, right? And I had to assume he's talking about Top Rank. But I think that's the biggest barrier to Terrence Crawford getting those fights, in my opinion. But maybe, if Bob Arum retires and Todd DeBuff takes it on, maybe Todd DeBuff might have a different viewpoint on it, and he can open things up and be willing to take more chances and have better fights. But, apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so I doubt it. Erectus Walters said, Fanon, man, you still think DeBella will keep faith in Whackman Ndungo? I don't know. I don't think that he needs. I think Ndungo needs to go back to the drawing board, man. I hope he got good paydays. But now he's going to go back to I would be interested to see what Blood Boxing's video was on that. But I don't think he's going to have any more. I mean, he's food at this point, man. I mean, you get knocked out like that. I mean, that's just like, dang, dog, I might as well have been in the ring, man. You know what I mean? Hey, De Blasi Boxing was good. He said, Fanon, I said to myself, this Crawford resume may look that impressive. I mean, the unifying belts look that impressive, man. And he looks very impressive in the ring. So, I mean, questions are always going to be asked, man, as long as you don't have, a bunch of people, of, die hard, don't care what you do fans, riding with you. So, Crawford is not at that stage in his career. So, it still has that, he's still going to have that, man. What's good, Mark Blake? How you feeling, man? Crawford is slick in the ring. That's Darth Vader. Yeah. I mean, he is, man. He's a great fighter. I mean, he doesn't lose any ground to me. That's for dang sure. Prograis just proved that he's real. I mean, I think that's the way you look at it, man. If you got two dudes, it's like after what's the name of the guy? Molina, right? It was a Molina. Oh, shout out to Mr. Mark Blake. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Much appreciated, man. Definitely support the cause, man. Gotta see. Actually, I might have a text now. Nope. Still haven't heard back. Oh, Corey Lee. Oh, the Cali Enigma. Cali Enigma got a new video, man. Just so you guys check it out. It's on my phone right now just to prove that creators like Cali Enigma, man, got one out there said Horn shouldn't try to make the weight and it should come in extra heavy. Check out the Cali Enigma, man. He's got a video that that came out, man. Subscribe and like his channel. I told you, Cali Enigma. I got you on. I got the bell icon on you, my man. But yeah, man, Mark Blake, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. Excuse me. But that's funny, man, because maybe I'm going to try to think. It'd be interesting what Cali Enigma had to say about that, because, excuse me. If he loses weight on the scale, man, try to bully just to try to get a win. Hey, man, that's what Valdez. I think some of these cats try to pull that, man, without a doubt. I think cats definitely try to pull that. And that might not, if he has to do it, man, hey, come in strong and fight another day. That's what Neri did, even though Neri got banned from Japan for life. And they're like, and that's pretty much the Japanese weight class. So I don't know. That might actually hurt Neri being banned for life from Japan, man. They ain't playing. They're like, nah, you got slicked and ruined this dude. You ain't never coming back. That's wild. That's that's wild. 8 for 9. Excuse me for 1 second. All right, I had to clear my throat. Sorry about that. 8 for 9. Have Crawford ever fought an elite pressure fighter? Um, an elite. That's it's a hard question. I don't not that I can think of, because I mean, who would have been an elite pressure fighter? Number one, who's an elite pressure fighter? Number one, besides Andre Ward. That's a Ryan said elite pressure fighter. No, sir. Maybe yeah, maybe because Matisse was gone. Lucas Matisse was gone. Maidana was gone. But nah, he hasn't. Unless you want to call Jeff Horn one, because I think Jeff Horn's a pressure fighter, and that'll be coming. So we'll see. If he does, then I would say then maybe Jeff Horn is one, because I think Jeff Horn is a pressure fighter. He's gonna come at you. He can do both. You got Crawford's chinny. I don't know, man. Horn's headbutts are. Darth Vader said Horn. Yeah, the headbutts are. Erectus Walter says, I have a friend. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't know how that happened, man. I don't usually have that happening. Maybe Gamboa, yeah. Let me go back here. Fanad, I enjoyed Regis's performance. This is Gregory Wyatt. However, he will get caught with that right cross all night against higher level fighters. I picked Regis in 2, so I was correct this week. Hey, man, shout out. Good pick on that one, man. Good pick. Crawford hasn't been tested yet. That's Dallas J. That's interesting, man. That's interesting, man. I mean, for a dude to have all those championship belts and people say he's not tested, I don't know why isn't. I mean, Postal's not being tested. Gamboa got exposed in that fight. I mean, come on, man. Gamboa wasn't exposed before the fight. I mean, when you beat somebody, man, I think you got to get credit. I think you got to take the fighter as the fighter was when the fight happened, and not look like down the line and say, well, hey, man, because like, what is it? I think who's a guy that both Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fought? Wasn't it like Eric Molina? I think they both knocked out Eric Molina, right? So, but I can't remember who fought who first. Maybe Deontay Wilder fought him first, right? I got to look at that and see who fought who first. But regardless, the one getting the knockout shouldn't. The fact that you both beat the same fighter shouldn't devalue one fighter. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, so Wilder fought him first, right? So Anthony Joshua knocks him out second. The fact that Anthony Joshua knocks out Eric Molina shouldn't decrease the value placed on Deontay Wilder beating Eric Molina. You know what I mean? It's two different fights, two different fighters. I just don't think you should do it that way. If anything, it would devalue what the second guy did, right? Like Julius Ndungu, and that's what I said about Ndungu coming into the fight. I'm like, the dude, I was rooting for him, but he just came off a knockout. Well, he just got knocked out in his last fight, right? And with a crunching body shot. Did he recover from that, And apparently he did not. And that put the book out on him for Regis Prograis, and it was a late replacement. So, Oh, Shine Naka Fanaz says a shot of rum to that right up. Yeah, and it also had me slurring and all kind of other stuff. I probably just need to get a drink of water. But I think I'm all right now. Hopefully I'm all right now. Yeah, man, I can't ever take no rum. It's 11 o'clock, man. I can't take no shot on rum this time of day. I got to have principles, man. Principles. Red Castillo, Fanon, and just as I say that. Fanon, and we'll see what happens tonight with Lipinets against Garcia. Do you think Garcia will want to fight Ivan Baranchyk in a defense of the IBF title? I don't think so. I don't think he want that beast in his face. No, I don't think he will fight him, man. I I think at this point in time, Mikey Garcia is looking for money. You know, and if that's not a cat that's going to bring the biggest payday, Mikey Garcia is not going to do it. Mikey Garcia is trying to get paid. You know, he had to sit out that 2 years getting away from Bob Arum. And, you know, he's looking at his pocketbook and he's making business decisions at this point in time in his career. So that's my take on that. Yeah, that's my take on that. Lenny, you hating? Who's Lenny? Hey man, let's keep the hate to a minimum. Watch out, people putting Dungo in the bum category. Yeah, they've already done it. He's been called a bum about 6 times in this video, dog. So, yeah, he's affirmatively been put into that mug. Cali Enigma. Lipinets called Mikey Garcia a cherry picker, but he's fighting him, huh? Josh Taylor called out Mikey. That's a beast he should avoid. Yeah, he'll definitely avoid. Now I'm sorry, man. Hey, what's good, Ty Legacy? Yeah, man. Now that you mention it, I hadn't even mentioned Josh Taylor. Yeah. 140 just got real hot with that, man. Just got real hot. So we'll see. 140 just got real hot. Because I think Josh Taylor just got his knockout looking real good, too. So Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, the winner of Emir Imam and Jose Ramirez. You have hopefully Adrian Granados going back down to 140. I think he's a good fighter at 140 as well. Adrian Bronner, I don't know what he's doing, whether he's doing the tweener thing or whatever. But, you know, I think even him at 140, if he gets his act together, man, he might be able to do something. Yeah, Dallas J says Josh Taylor's a beast. Yeah, I think he might be. Yeah, I would like Terrence Crawford to still be at 140 right now. That would be good, man, because there's a lot of stuff going on over there at 140. It's just that, man, I mean, I hate to harp on the point again. It's just that I think his biggest problem is going to be being able to get the fights with Bob Arum. I'm just not a believer, man. Lenny Washington, it's known competition at Top Rank at 140. It's no competition at Top Rank 147, and he re-up with Top Rank to avoid heavy hitters. I don't think he'd avoid with that, man. I mean, I got to say, Lenny Washington, I don't believe that. I don't think that that Terrence Crawford's afraid to fight anybody or afraid to get in there with heavy hitters, man. I don't believe it. I favor Terrence Crawford to beat anybody at 147, at 140 pounds. As much as I think of Josh Taylor, I don't think Josh Taylor wants no parts. I mean, he might get in the ring and be willing to fight Terrence Crawford, but man, I think Terrence Crawford is a lot of trouble for. I think Terrence Crawford beats everybody at 140, man. Oh, Shine the Icon. Oh yeah, also Devin Haney. I think he still might be at 135 right now because he was talking about fighting Robert Easter. But he's going to be, if he's not there. He's not there. I got to check his. I think he's kind of in between now because he's still kind of taking his come up fights. Yeah, Devin Haney's another one at 140 pounds though, for real, absolutely. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't watch his eating, he gonna be at 140 pounds before you know it too. I got Spence smoking bud. Yeah, that's 147 though. That's 147, J-Dog. I'm talking about 140. I said I favor him. I favor Terrence Crawford against anybody at 140. I'm not going to favor him with everybody against 147 because I still got to see it. I mean, I got to see it. Tony McGray say, I smoke bud too. That's funny. Curtis Anderson says, Fanon, Davis versus Farmer, who wins? Gervonta Davis. By knockout. Gervonta Davis by knockout. I don't even see that as a close fight. I mean, Tevin Farmer can fight. Tevin Farmer's a slick fighter, a very good fighter. But, man, I don't think he can't punch. And Gervonta Davis is very, very fast and he's a very good boxer as well. So, I mean, I just don't know. Maybe not by knockout, maybe by unanimous decision. But no, man. Marlon Ford, Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Right now, I guess I would go with Lomachenko against Devin Haney now. But when Devin Haney hits 23 years old, Devin Haney, I don't even think he's 20 years old yet. Was he 19? That's a kid, man. That's a little baby right now. Lenny Washington says Davis whoops Lomachenko. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that right now. That man is real skilled, man. He's real skilled. He's experienced. He's 30 years old. You know, he's in the prime of his career. And I think that Gervonta Davis is still, you know, just still outside of, not quite as hit his prime yet. So, but like I'll say the same thing about Devin Haney and I'll say the same thing about Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko as I say with Devin Haney and Lomachenko. Give it 3 years. Give it 3 years. Ortiz ain't no Lomachenko. What he talk? What's that? Victor Ortiz? I mean, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. Man, CM got a wrench. Yeah, he got. Dude will slap you with the wrench. For 9, Tank Davis lacks discipline. I mean, outside the ring he does. Yeah, I think he does outside the ring. Inside the ring, I think he's absolutely terrific. But he's a young guy, man. So, you know, he's got time to mature. You know, I go in on Gervonta Davis a good bit, man, because he's just a jerk. I mean, but I don't think maturity is going to necessarily keep the dude from being a jerk. You know, I just wish he, you know, but because there's all kind of dudes who are jerks, man, at all ages, you know. But missing weight, you know, having trouble 2 times in a row making weight, man, that's just not a good look. It's not a good look at all. So, you know, I'm just not big on that, man. But, you know, and then getting into that tussle and all that stuff. We should support GGG still, or did Abel apologize? Nah, hey man, Abel dug himself in deeper. And I don't necessarily believe that you know, GGG is not Abel Sanchez. They're not the same person. They are connected. They're connected. They're not the same person. It's not like GGG himself said that. But, you know, the question really is with GGG, for me, is less what Angel Sanchez says for GGG the person. It's whether or not, man, he's going to take the fact that he's willing to go ahead and jump back in that ring with a dude that just got popped. You know, that's not, I mean, if you believe that it's a sad thing that's irresponsible to do, then, you know, you got to hold him accountable for it. Hold him accountable for it. And don't give him a shot at the belts. I mean, those are Gennady Golovkin's belts. So since those are Gennady Golovkin's belts, Canelo doesn't have a belt. Gennady Golovkin has all the belts. So Gennady Golovkin is the one that's going to allow somebody that got popped dirty to fight for all 3 of the major belts. In a fight before which he had popped dirty. So I don't support Gennady Golovkin in that respect. I think that's irresponsible and it's a bad look for boxing. You know, and you know, it's 2 wrongs. You know, it's whatever happened with Gennady. It's with the 3. It's Canelo, it's the WBA, the WBC, and now it's Gennady Golovkin. Just adding problem after problem to it. I don't think that if you have a situation where somebody tests positive before the NBA Finals, and you let that dude hit the floor knowing this cat just popped dirty for a basketball game, I think the dude should be suspended for the basketball game. In a football game, they're not going to let somebody that tested positive play in a football game right after they pop dirty for performance enhancers. Right? They're going to, you know, they'll have an appeal process or whatever they got to go through, but they're going to suspend him. This dude just popped dirty. There should be a suspension while you figure out what happens. You know, what are you going to wait to count the money? Oh, after we count the money, then, you know, as long as you stay clean for the rest of this. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. That's why I think the problem is for me with Gennady Golovkin. As far as what Abel Sanchez said, Abel Sanchez's issue for me is that Abel Sanchez is just, you know, talking on the side of his neck. And the press should have been on top of that. But they weren't on top of it. It's just like something they heard he said and they just went on right past it. It's like, yeah, okay, we heard it, but you know, it's not worth boxing scene writing an article about it. You know, it's not right. It's not about ESPN being willing to make an article about it and say, look what this guy said. Right? They're just gonna let that slide. That's the issue I have. right? With Abel Sanchez, the Abel Sanchez saying that stuff, that's on the media. And whether or not the media is going to put pressure behind that. And that false representation of black fighters that he let out there in front of them, to them. To them. But they don't, it's all cool. We'll just accept that like that's true. Even though dang well it's not true. Fanon, who got a better chin, Ndungo or Khan? Ndungo probably has a better chin. Khan's a better fighter and can cover it up for a longer amount of time. And he knows how to stay out there on a jab and keep that dude away. But I think Ndungo has a better chin because he got hit. It's his body that's the problem. He's got glass ribs. He's got glass ribs. But anyway, yeah, that's my take on that, man. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous that they allow that these boxing media type cats don't cover that, don't hold these dudes, to any type of standard, man. If somebody had said that, and then it's just so blatantly ridiculous, man. It's just so ridiculous. What would make boxing different than any other sport? It's like in the United States, and black fighters can sell basketball games. Black fighters can sell baseball games. They can sell football games, right? They can sell cars, right? They can sell golf, right? They can do all of that, dog. But they can't sell boxing matches, even though daggone well that the damn near all the top fighters, the top fights, pay-per-view fights had black fighters in them. That the two most popular fighters in the world right now, worldwide, are black fighters. It's just, come on, man. But you're not going to make any statement about that? Stupidity, number one. That would have been the easiest article to write. But see, the problem is that it's not going to sell the fight. It's not going to, writing that doesn't sell the fight. So it's like these guys writing this article are there to sell the fight. So they're not really behaving like journalists. They're behaving like PR firms. And that's what basically the Ring Magazine is. Ring Magazine's a PR firm. Right? It's like, they're a marketing department. They're like the marketing department for Golden Boy. And they might, rent themselves out to Top Rank now and again. That's what the Boxing Writers Association of America sound like. They're like a marketing department instead of like doing real journalism. That's a big story that was an important story that they never covered, that they never looked at. So, that's my thing on that, man. GGG, as far as Abel Sanchez, that's a media thing. As far as that testing, that's a WBA, a WBC, and a media thing. And right now, it's the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And whether the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to let that fly or not. If they let that fly, hey, man, then it's like, they're all kind of, they're all looking bad, man. But hey, for $100 million, people will look bad now. Hey, I'll take one to the chin for $100 million. Yeah, I know we look like we're irresponsible. I got that. Yeah, I know we look like we're endangering, we're setting a bad standard, and we look like, we pay favoritism, to fighters because of the revenue that they bring in. Yeah, we know, but we're willing to do that for $100 million. No worry. Dopamine says, I think every pro athlete is on PEDs. But that's just me. I mean, everything, I don't know, man. Everything, everybody, if that's the case, then they really need to buckle down, man. Definitely in boxing. And it seems like these guys are getting caught, man. It is what it is, man. But you got caught. I mean, there's a different thing between saying, King Ra, no integrity. There's a different thing. There's a difference between saying, that the guy got caught, that everybody's on PEDs, everybody's on something, and we just can't find it. Right, we don't know that they are because what they're getting we can't find, that that the chemists and in the pharmaceutical industry that develops that stuff is one step ahead of the testers, right? That's one thing, but you're talking about a situation where somebody got caught. I'm saying, you're like, hold on, this testing system worked here, but hey, we're okay with it because we don't believe that the testing system's wrong. Because it tested positive for, something was in the meat that he knew was in the meat. So it is what was in the IV. I mean, who cares what was in the IV, man? He got approval. If you're talking about Floyd Mayweather, he got approved for the IV ahead of time. More than likely some rehydrating type of solution. But he got it approved beforehand by the commission. So if they approved it, he didn't break a rule, they approved it. Same thing as if Canelo Alvarez has said, hey, man, I want everybody to know before this fight, hey, I've got a disease, I've got some issue that makes me have to eat street meat, right? Whatever it was, dog, whatever, man, But anyway, man, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is retired. That IV situation was years ago, and that's water under the bridge. This fight hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? Floyd was just using a nice, clean IV in his own home. Nothing to see here. Please move along. Hey, man, if he got it approved ahead of time, there really is nothing to see because he didn't violate a rule. That's stretching. You're looking for something when that happens. He got it. It was vitamins and minerals in Floyd's IV. I don't know what happened. I know he got it approved ahead of time. And I'm more than happy. You can check the record. I'm more than happy to say that I think Floyd Mayweather Jr. is wrong about something. I'm not going to sit up here and just rah for Floyd Mayweather for the hell of going rah for him. But my understanding of the situation is that he got it approved. He didn't try to sneak it in. He wasn't doing something that somebody didn't know. It's not like, oh, he took a test and it popped up. Whoa, what happened here? This is somebody saying, well, I didn't know that they didn't get notified. Whoever the fight was against, that person didn't get notified of it by the commission. And the commission's like, look, you didn't get notified because it's not a rule violation. Right? It's not a rule violation. It was approved. We monitored what happened. We knew what was in it. It didn't violate any rules. So it was good. Like approved after the fact. Hey, man, dopamine, you got to cut it out, man. It's not the subject. It's just not the subject, man. If you want to blast on Floyd Mayweather, man, whatever, man. He didn't get busted. It's not the same situation. That's apples and oranges. Since 93 sports, Fanon, Prograis damn near knocked Douglas' head out of the arena with the first knockdown in the second round. Yeah, man, dang, he clipped him, dog. He dang sure clipped him. And no disrespect, dopamine, but we got to drop the subject because it's apples and oranges, man. And that's what I keep hearing. I hear from people, and this is not just you, dopamine. This is other people that do this. As soon as you say something about a fighter, you pull out Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s name. Like, look what Floyd Mayweather Jr. did. You were okay with Floyd Mayweather doing this. What does that have to do with? That's a straw man. Number one, I didn't say anything about Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's not okay if somebody gets busted for clenbuterol to justify it because, well, what about this guy? What about that guy? That's not the subject. We are looking right now. We know for sure that this dude got popped dirty for clenbuterol. We know it. He said he did. He knows that it's not right. This isn't a question about whether or not Floyd Mayweather Jr. 5 years ago took had an IV. Dude, we know what an IV is. An IV is a sac that puts liquids into your system. Dude might have been anemic. There could be all kind of medical reasons why they would approve that. But the fact of the matter is they approved it. They didn't, in this situation where clenbuterol, they didn't approve the clenbuterol. It's just an apples and orange type of thing. And I hear this when we talk about somebody ducking somebody else. It's like, okay, here, look, man, why isn't Anthony Joshua fighting Deontay Wilder? Well, why didn't Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight Paul Williams? What does that got to do with each other, man? You're telling me because somebody if you use that logic, then anybody can do anything because they're not the first and only person ever to have done it. So if you say, okay, Errol Spence Jr. pops dirty for clenbuterol, right? And then we say, hold on, Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol, so why didn't you say something about that? You mean you gonna let that slide? If there are rules in place because people violate the rules. You cannot use You cannot justify the violation of a rule on the fact that somebody else violated the rule. And then what if I just want to go ahead and say, and I'm going to agree with this thing? Yeah, you're right. Floyd Mayweather Jr. should have been penalized for that IV. How's that? What's your next argument? Oh, well, then in that case, let's move on to whether or not Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Paul Williams. And hey, but what about this? What about Aaron Pryor? You know, Aaron Pryor had some medicine, had a black bottle with asthma medicine coupled up in there. What about him? Well, he should have been punished too. Okay, yeah, he should have been punished too. But what about Armstrong? You know what I'm saying? What about Armstrong, the cyclist? Why wasn't he punished earlier? Well, he should have been done too. I mean, at a certain point in time, dude, discuss the subject matter at hand. Don't go and bring up something that's called a straw man. You're putting up an argument that nobody made, and you start pushing people into debating it. That's a straw man. What I'm saying is that Canelo Alvarez, I like Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo Alvarez got tested positive for clenbuterol. The WBA and the WBC went ahead and proclaimed his innocence the same day that the public found out about it. There's no way they had enough time to do a thorough investigation on it. But they pronounced him innocent just off the explanation that he gave. And that's wrong. And Gennady Golovkin is going to continue on with the fight and give a guy who violated performance-enhancing drug protocols and get him a shot at 3 of the major belts. That's wrong. Talk about, if you want to debate with me, and I'd love to debate, but you got to debate that. Don't debate. I'm not going to debate you about Floyd Mayweather Jr., what happened to him 5 years ago. It's like I hear other conversations going on where I talk with people, and it's like you make a statement about something that the guy you're debating or having a conversation with never said to distract the subject. That's not having an honest discussion. That's playing debater's tactics. And that's why you say irrelevant. That's what that is, irrelevant. You're talking about somebody with an IV who got nothing to do. It's not like he got tested for clenbuterol. It was disclosed that he had an IV. What does clenbuterol, a known anabolic steroid, have to do with an IV, which is known to rehydrate the body for somebody that could be anemic or dehydrated? Those aren't even the same things. One was approved, the other one wasn't approved. And they're 2 different fighters. Sorry, man, but I went on that for a little while, man, but those type of debates, those type of arguments they're just not straightforward. Do you or do you not think that he should be allowed to that Canelo Alvarez in this particular circumstance should be allowed to fight? Oh, Dopamine said that's fair, but all right, good. So that's all good, man. I appreciate it. I went on about that long too, but respect, Dopamine, for real. Respect, man. We can debate and go and all that stuff, man. And at the same time, man, have respect for one another. Super DJ, man. Thank you for the super chat, man. Super appreciated. PED Vetkin is still in the WBA. Shake my head. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. You know what these guys are doing. I could go through the history of the WBA and the WBC and the IBF and see how those guys were formed over issues of rules and at the end of the day, dog, the money. Just Junior, Luis Nery is banned for life from boxing in Japan. Nery failed the VADA administered drug test as part of the Clean Boxing's program. Oh, Liz Harper said, thanks, man. That's common sense. Yeah, hey, no problem, man. I mean, that's what it is. You just got to keep these. It's unfair, and sometimes people don't catch it. But those are people that you don't catch it, and sometimes you got to catch it when you're making that argument yourself. Like if I want to play with somebody, I'll do that, But you're doing it. That's just a known debating tactic, man. It's called a straw man. But yeah, I think he got banned, number one, for testing positive, and then they let him back in to get another shot, and then he just blatantly missed the weight. Then he just blatantly missed the weight and came in 5 pounds overweight and, beat one of their and knocked out for the second time one of their champions over there. And Japan's like, we're not playing that. You cheated once, then you cheated twice. You cheated twice. You just switched up how you're cheating. And that's a known way to cheat, man. You're just going to blatantly agree to a weight class and then come in 2 weight classes above it. Yeah, that was dirty on Neri's fight, man. He lost a lot of respect. I've lost a lot of respect for Neri, man. Lone Wolf, what's good, man? I hadn't seen you in a minute. I heard GGG called the fight off. Is that true? Nah, I haven't heard that. I think that would be lit up. I'll just go ahead and I doubt that is going to happen. They're going to have to pay him a ton of money, though. I bet you. Nah, I don't see anything out here. I hadn't heard that. I'd be shocked if that was the case. That'd be major breaking news right there. Excuse me. Man, it's cool, man. We got more likes and we got people in the building. That's what's up. Yeah. Let me go back up here, man. It's a good conversation this morning. Sorry for coughing earlier. Hey, Dopamine, much respect, man. Boop, boopy, doo. Oh, my God. I hate that I say that, man. My daughter hates when I make that silly sound. All right, man. Azuma's Deception. You up in here, my man. Ndungo beat Bricky Burns as well. He beat a much smaller Gamboa who was still stunning him. Crawford's only credible win is Postal. Crawford's who is a B class opponent. Bud looks good, but his resume is weak. I mean, I can't argue with your opinion on that. I mean, that's a fair. I think his resume is one thing. What he looks like in the ring is something else, man. Oh, K Brooks says, Fanon, I love your channel. I'm supporting what you're doing for the kids, fam. Hey, man, much appreciated, K Brooks. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Much, much appreciated, homie. But yeah, I mean, Deception. I can appreciate that, man. I mean, that's a fair thing to say. I think there's more to a fighter than just what you see in his resume. But I mean, it's kind of like here. He won a title at one. I'll tell you what looks great about his resume. He got a title at 135. He got 4 titles, 4 belts at 140. He's not lost. The dude can fight southpaw. He can fight orthodox. He can crack. He's fun to watch. I mean, at the end of the day, man, the dude has done. Everybody's been put in front of him. He's done what he's supposed to do. And that looks good. I don't think that it's fair to call his resume. I would argue that it's a stretch to call his resume weak. I mean, a weak resume. I mean, I don't see how you can have a 135-pound title, 4 belts at 140, and it'd be a weak resume. Similar to the same argument that was made about okay, yeah, I agree with you there. He passed the eye test. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, I can respect what you're saying, man. I don't got too much beef with that. I mean, but then again, sometimes, man, when somebody gets beat, you take the spirit out of somebody, and they might not be the same fighter after they fight you. Crawford's Daniel Dalton says Crawford's a monster. That's what's up. Lace him up boxing. What's happening, man? Not weak. He beat who he had to. Yeah, see, that's my thing about people saying that about Deontay Wilder. I mean, you still have people writing and saying this cat's got a weak resume. He ain't fought anybody. You got 40 guys. He's knocked out 40 guys, man. Or 30. He's knocked out 39 different people. Because he's only fought one person twice. Right, but he's got 39 knockouts. He's knocked out 39. He's knocked out everybody he's beaten. He's got 7 title defenses for the WBA, for the WBC title, and he's got an Olympic bronze medal. And somehow we still got people thinking he's a bum. It's like sometimes I think you should just look at the resume in entirety, and then some of the same argument will be used for like Vasyl Lomachenko, who's got 10 fights on his resume. Right? And then you say, well, nobody's done as much as he has in 11 fights. Is it 10 fights now? Or 11? Say 11 fights. In 11 fights. right? But at the same time, it's just 11 fights, right? So you can look at it in two ways. It's like, okay, what's his body of work? I mean, if you have 11 fights, period, it's almost impossible to, after 11 fights to have a Hall of Fame body of work because there's just not a lot of body there. The fact there's something to be said about somebody that gets in there and fights guys that they're supposed to beat and does that year in, year out. You know what I mean? And does that and does it at a high level, because we've seen, sometimes fights, things just go wrong in the ring. So I think that, the fact that Terrence Crawford has shown up like he's never been off, right? Versus Vasyl Lomachenko, and you can't say that Vasyl Lomachenko's never been off. He's gone in 1 out of the 10 of his fight. He was off. He had a bad night. And Terrence Crawford has not had a bad night yet. You know what I mean? Same thing for Deontay Wilder. He's just not had a bad night. Akabin, my man, says, Fanon, one reason GGG will, oh man, Super DJ, thank you, man. For the super chat. Let me make sure that I don't miss this. I get that 1 second because I was right in the middle of reading my man Akabin. For now, one reason GGG will take the fight is because the replacement could be Danny. Oh, Danny Jacobs or Charlo. Lord. Yeah, good point, man. And that money. It's really that money. That's what I say. It's a lot of money. And he's going to get some money for doing that. AJ's resume is weak. Fact. This is Super DJ. 41-year-old Vlad and Wilder leftovers. Stop it. Hey, man, week is still, and thank you for the super chat, Super DJ, I got to play devil's advocate here, man. I got to play it. All right, here's the thing. It is not everything that people are saying it is. I do agree. However, being able to beat Deontay, having 3 major championship belts right there on your record, kind of gets you past the weak statement. You know what I mean? There's a big gap between having Hall of Fame and being weak. It's not like either or, right? So you could say, I got to go back to the Vasyl Lomachenko resume, right? So you look at Vasyl Lomachenko's resume and you say, is it weak? No, it's not weak. It's not a weak. Or for people in the UK, CV. It's not a weak resume. It's not a weak CV. But is it a Muhammad Ali resume? Hell no. Not anywhere near it, not close, not any way, shape, form, or fashion. So is Anthony Joshua's resume weak? I wouldn't say that it's weak, right? But where people start talking about how it's so much better than Deontay Wilder's, I don't think there's an argument that could really be. I would have an easy time refuting the argument that Anthony Joshua's resume is better than Deontay Wilder's. Number one, Deontay Wilder has twice the fights. He's had twice the many opportunities to get in there with heavyweights and lose. Deontay Wilder has one title defense, right? Against Carlos Takam. Deontay Wilder has 7 title defenses. One of them against Luis Ortiz. So I wouldn't call Anthony Joshua's resume weak. I might call somebody's resume weak like Junior Fa, who fought last night. That's a weak resume. He's just not there, right? I think Anthony Joshua clearly has a good resume compared to other heavyweights. It's just not better than Deontay Wilder's, and it's not great. It's not Hall of Fame. It's not there. His numbers are great. His viewership, his ticket sales are great. You know what I mean? So that's where I would say I'm playing the devil advocate with you, Super DJ 512, and say that I don't think his resume is weak, but there's a big difference between weak, between Hall of Fame and weak. You can be a champion and not be a Hall of Famer. You can have a very, very good resume and not be a Hall of Famer. But when you start talking about, is it better than Deontay Wilder's? If Deontay Wilder's resume is weak, then Anthony Joshua's resume is real weak, because he only has half the fights, 1/7 of the title defenses. He's never defended himself. I don't even think he's had a volunteer. He hasn't fought a mandatory yet, right? He ain't fought. Yeah. That's my take on it. I hope you think that that's fair, man. But I got a devil's advocate, dog. Got a devil's advocate. I do see your point, though. Bloodboxing already feuded that Joshua's Wilder resume is BS. Yeah, agreed. Let me back up here, man. Hey, but thank you for the super chat, sir. Broderick Hunter, Fanon. When Charlo and Jacobs recently had their encounter, why do people think Charlo was shook when he was telling Jacobs to stay calm, let's scrap our upcoming fights, you and I go at it? Hey, man, because it looks like your boy jumped in his face and he didn't jump back. That's how I interpreted it. I can see why somebody would think that because Jermall Charlo, somebody acts real froggy a lot, and you would think that he would get up in the face of Danny Jacobs, but he was kind of demure. He sat back. So I don't think he got punked. I just think he looked at it like, all right, yeah, you're gonna get loud. Yeah, okay, man, let's make the fights happen. You scrap your fight, I'll scrap my fight. We can get in the ring. And then, from what I understand, Danny Jacobs is like, man, I got money. I'm fighting for money, da-da-da. And he was being real with it as he could be. But I think that's why people say that, man. And, hey, some people can see the same thing. Oh, DJ17 said, Super DJ 512 says, dang, man, I miss Edwin Edwards, man. He said, then Wilder's resume isn't weak. No, it's not weak. Hell no, Wilder's resume ain't weak. That shit is fucking good. Not just not weak, it's good. You kidding me? How could it not be good? Edwin Edwards, let me thank you for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. He says, wish I could join the chat. I have strong views on the subject. Driving San Antonio for the Garcia fight. That's what's up. Hey, man, yeah, we still got to do it when you can jump in, man. That's for sure. We can make that hot. But, yeah, Super DJ, no, it's not what. Deontay, how can that be weak? See, here's the thing. You can look at something, man. You can look at every tree in the forest and say, that's not a very strong tree. That's not a very strong tree. That's not a very strong tree. But, God dog, man, you talking about 40 trees. It's a fucking forest, homie. Okay? Look at how many of these guys he beat. And look how he beat them. It's not like he's going to decision against these guys. Come on, you got 40-0 with 39 KOs, 7 title defenses of the WBA belt. There's nothing weak about that, dude. If you got to say that that's weak, then I'm telling you, there's a bunch of Hall of Fame dudes that got weak resumes, man. Because they fought guys, they didn't manage to. Aaron Shavers didn't go through his career undefeated. He didn't get to 39-0, 49-0 with 38 knockouts, or 40-0 with 39 knockouts. I mean, just come on, man. When people say that, you can look at the resume and say, come on, of course. God dog, of course. That's a good resume, man. The WBC belt. If I said WBA, forgive me. I mean, of course that's a good resume, man. It's a good resume without a doubt, man. Akabin, man, what's good, man? Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Much, much, much appreciated, homie. Of course that's a good resume, man. It's a very good resume. I mean, for real, he beats, and seriously, Deontay Wilder beats Anthony Joshua. If he beat Anthony Joshua, then dog, come on, man. That's borderline fucking Hall of Fame resume, man. You got to say it, man. You got to be like, come on, 39, 7, 8. The next title defense he has will be 8 title defenses of the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, man. And Brian S. is right, man. It was weak as a champion not fighting other champions. But hopefully they can get in the ring with each other, man, and make it happen. And then, we can see who pops up on top. And whoever, run it back after that. Nephew, in amateurs, who knew about Crawford. I'll tell you who knew about him. Mikey Garcia, because Mikey Garcia got beat by him. Because Mikey Garcia beat him. I mean, Terrence Crawford beat Mikey Garcia. He knew him. Fanon. It's what's good, Record Steel? Fanon, I think Ruger will be the next unified, undisputed junior welterweight champ. But in my opinion, he has 2 big roadblocks in front of him in Josh Taylor and Ivan Branachik. I got to learn how to pronounce Ivan's name, man. Yeah, I didn't see I watched Ivan, man, and I was like, I got to look at him a little more carefully, man. Really, I got to look at him again. Josh Taylor's a monster. Josh Taylor's a monster, man. That's going to be something, man. Josh Taylor's a monster. Lone Wolf says, honestly, neither Wilder or Joshua's resume are really good because the heavyweight division sucks. Lone Wolf, man, you got to fight in the fights that you're in. I mean, they're the fighters that are there. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you are winning, these guys are not. I mean, you got to fight the fighters that are there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, what else can they do? I mean, if you do what you're supposed to do and you're doing it against who you're supposed to do it against, I mean, shit, that's a good resume. You're doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's very, I mean, it'd be like there's nothing that they can do to have a good resume. If you judge and say, oh, you know what, the heavyweight division sucks. Consequently, it's impossible for anybody to do well in that division. You could have the best heavyweight champion in the history of the world, and he has a division that sucks, but then he'll never be able to accomplish something because you just say, well, you know, his division sucked. That's too easy to brush people off like that. There are Luis Ortiz is a good boxer, man. Anthony Joshua is an Olympic gold medalist. Deontay Wilder is an Olympic bronze medalist. These guys are doing one's beating Klitschko, the other one's beating Luis Ortiz. They've beaten every guy that's been put in front of them. They hold the belts. If Anthony Joshua gets past Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua will hold 3 of the belts. I mean, you just got to give cats credit, man. Otherwise, you'll be waiting around what do you want to wait around for 30 years? Until you can say, well, okay, now I do believe here that there's 5 or 6 guys that I think are good. I mean, there are good heavyweights, man. There's at least 4 of them, man, that are in. Well, Tyson Fury got to come back. Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. You know, those guys can fight, man. But anyway, that's my take on it. You know, if you don't want to give them credit, I mean, I don't know what they can do. You know what I mean? It's like, what else can you do? It's impossible for them to have a good resume with that logic. And I don't think that's, I mean, I just don't think that's fair. Yeah, but I see what you're saying, Lone, but come on, man. You got to say they're not that good by who compared to what? They are that good. If you're the best heavyweight in the world, you're that good. I mean, that you are. If you are the best in the world of doing something, you've got to be good. That's definition. You're comparing yourself to other people. You know what I mean? It's not like it's some objective thing where you can say either there's nobody in the world who's 9 feet tall, because we can measure 9 feet and say nobody's that tall. That's objective. When you say somebody's good or not good, it has to be good relative to what? Compared to what? Right? So if you have one guy that can fight and beat every heavyweight in the world, that guy's good. He has to be. Otherwise, there is nobody that's good. But good is not, good is objective. I mean, it's subjective. It's what do you think is good? And I'm telling you, I can't see how it's possible in my logic to say that somebody's not good who's better than everybody else. If you can beat everybody else at something, then you've got to be good at it. Otherwise, just nobody's any good. And trash the whole thing. Fanon, you could argue that Brazil could beat all of Wilder's opponents. Ortiz versus Brazil is like 50-55. You could argue that. You could argue it. We have to see it, though. We have to see it. If it winds up being the case with Brazil can beat those guys, then cool. But you got to see it. He ain't done it yet. Usyk will get, okay. Brazil beats Severn. If they get in the ring, they got to do it. But even if he does beat, see, here's another thing. What's good, LR Chigga? By the way, here's another thing. That's another argument that doesn't work. Trying to chipping away at somebody's reputation because you think somebody else can be the guy that he knocked out. What difference does that make? He knocked out Luis Ortiz. What difference does it make if somebody else can beat him? I'm saying, what difference does that make? He beat him. It's not like you're saying he's beating this guy can beat somebody that beat Deontay Wilder. You're saying that you guys, some people, no disrespect, are making the argument that, look, I can look at Deontay Wilder's resume and say, okay, there's Bermane Stiverne. Well, I think that Andy Ruiz would beat Bermane Stiverne, so I have to take off credit from Deontay Wilder for beating Bermane Stiverne. The problem with that is twofold, at least. Number one, Andy Ruiz has not beaten Bermane Stiverne. That's your opinion. And number two, who cares if he did? Because even if he does beat him, it's not like you can say that Deontay Wilder didn't beat Bermane Stiverne. There's no scenario in which you can take a fighter that Deontay Wilder knocked out and say somebody else would beat him and somehow take away from Deontay Wilder. Like, yeah, I know he knocked out that guy, but there's other people that could knock him out too. You just can't do it, man. There's so many. You would have to say that to Muhammad Ali and say, okay, I'm going to detract from Muhammad Ali because, yeah, he beat Sonny Liston, but so did this other guy who beat Sonny Liston too. Because, Sonny Liston lost a couple years later, so, that's not a big deal. And, I know that Muhammad Ali beat Joe Frazier, but who cares? So did George Foreman. Yeah, but I know that Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman, but who cares? So did Evander Holyfield, right? Or, I know that Mike Tyson knocked out Larry Holmes. Come on, man. Give people credit for what they did in the ring at the time that they did it. And all of these are like real roundabout the ways to try to take credibility for what you actually know has happened in an objective fashion. Deontay Wilder knocked all these dudes out. And it ain't coincidence. You don't knock out 40 dudes on coincidence. Shout out to thank you, Mr. Akabin, and DJ Super DJ 512 says basing good on retired or dead fighters is stupid. I mean, it's got a lot of holes in it. You can only be as good as the people that are fighting you, man. You know what I'm saying? You can only be as good as the people that are there. Let me go back to it for now. It's a good conversation, man. I appreciate you guys and being here with me through this. And it's just, I got my way that I see these arguments that are made, and I see people making arguments that just on the real. I mean, they're good debate. They're good debate tactics. It's something that makes people, have to think. Dang, Super DJ. Dang, Super DJ, play that song, dog. Thank you, sir. With the super chat, he says, okay, Tony beat Takam. Helenius beat Tony. Dupas KO'd Helenius. And Wilder knocked out Dupas. Now, so what? Pretty much, dog. Anthony beat Takam. Helenius beat Tony. Yes, exactly, Super DJ. It's like you can't do that, man. Thank you for the super chat, dog. You've super represented today, man. You my dude, man. Super represented. Thank you for the love and the super chat, man. Look, man, there's some arguments that need to go away just because they're not logical. Okay? And there's a guy, I hate to do this, man. I hate to do this because if people are familiar, we got a lot of people in there who got boxing channels. Shout out to everybody who got a boxing channel. Don't feel shy at all about putting in the name of your channel, asking people to subscribe in the comment section, man. You putting out good quality, let people hear your voice. Now that said, man, there's some channels that come up with these arguments, and they talk about, your logic, your logic, right? That's bad logic. But at the same time, man, come up with these little cheap debating tactics that are completely illogical, right? That don't make sense. You cannot do, and you see the same thing over and over again. Looking flat at somebody's, like, for example, the idea that that the best heavyweights in a division are not good. That they're not good. They're the best. By definition, they're good. It's like, who are you going to take? I mean, but for real, if Deontay Wilder's not good, right? He's trash, right? Take the word of Gervonta Davis. He's trash. Okay, he's trash. Who are you going to put in the ring with him, man? He's trash. You should be able to tell me somebody that you know is going to beat him. Who is it? Who do you know is going to beat Deontay Wilder? You're not going to come up with more than two names. You're not going to come up with more than two names. Of all the heavyweights in the world, you're not going to come up with but two names that you think are going to beat Deontay Wilder. That's going to be Anthony Joshua, and that's going to be Tyson Fury, maybe, if he comes back in shape. You might say, oh, I think Dominic Brazil. That's it. Exactly, Ron. I think it's going to be crickets. So how, if you can't name, if you don't know for sure more than one person in the world that'll beat him, how can he not be good? How is that possible? That's just like saying, you know what? That broad is ugly. Really? She's ugly? Show me 3 women that you on the internet. I'll give you the internet. You can go any picture. Name 3 women you think are prettier than she is. And you can't name any? How are you going to say she ugly if you can't come up with anybody prettier? It's logic. It just falls flat on its face, man. And it's just, when you do it, it's just proving that you just bumping your lips. What you really want to say is you don't like him. I don't like him. I like these people, other people better. I don't like Deontay Wilder. I like Anthony Joshua better. Or I don't like Floyd Mayweather Jr. I like Manny Pacquiao better. Because you can't justify what you're saying with something objectively true. It's your opinion, and it's cool to have opinion. You know, but at first it's opinion. You think he's trash. But his resume being trash, if Deontay Wilder's resume is trash, then let me tell you, man, how many people got trash resumes, man? God, dog. All but maybe what? 20 boxers in the history of the heavyweight division. Maybe 20 have better resumes. And I'm going out there and saying 20 because I don't think that there's about 8 that got more title defenses. I don't have the numbers up in front of me anymore. I usually, I don't feel like going through them. What, 8, 9 guys have had more title defenses? Maybe Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali. Who? Man, that's about 6 I'm naming. Maybe, there's a couple more that have more title defenses than he does. Right? Vladimir Klitschko, maybe Lennox, Lennox, Vladimir Klitschko, Muhammad Ali, definitely maybe Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, and I'm sure maybe just throw 4 more in there. But that's it. That's it. But yet his resume is trash? Come on, man. That's not even realistic, man. DJ, man, okay, Tank fight Wilder then. Exactly, man. Like, yeah, he's trash, but you ain't jumping in there. And there ain't no weight division in heavyweight. There's no limit. You can get some up there. Matt Wade, thanks, dog. Said, I'm sorry for being slow on the response to the super chat. Said, just came through to show support and love. Matt, much appreciated, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's been a good chat, man. We still got 132 people in the building after 2 hours of talking. So, much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. All right, let me go back into this chat, see if we got some more questions specifically. Lone Wolf, man. Let me go back to, hey, you back? What's good, Corey Lee? Toussaint Louverture. Wilder has 17 most title defenses in the heavyweight. He's got 7, not 17. He's got 7, not 17. And I don't think that's the most title defenses actively. It's not the most title defenses ever. I don't believe. I do believe that's got to be Joe Louis. Got to be Joe Louis. Wilder will go undefeated. I mean, maybe. Yeah, Holmes, maybe. Yeah, Holmes as well. There you go. Holmes is one of the guys too. Champ, you can't compare these new age heavyweights to old heavyweights in the 70s, 80s, 90s. The caliber of competition was way more better back then in the heavyweight division. Maybe not as far as you can't compare them. Technique and all that stuff comes into play. I mean, I'm not going to say doing that's hypothetical type of stuff. That's hypothetical type of stuff. But I mean, I definitely see your point, man. Champ Ross, shout out to you, my man. Hope all's well. We know. Oh, Tonji said we know Wilder's legit for sure. Fury's body might be a wreck after he gained weight and lost weight. This dopamine remains to be seen, but I do think the heavyweight division is better for having him around. Absolutely, man. I hope that he does get better. And if he's back to his top form and all that, I gotta say man, I think that dude might be able to beat everybody. Nino Brown Boxing in the house, man. Thank you for the super chat, man. What's good with you? He says, off topic, but if the junior middleweight division gets an undisputed champion, Charlo, Lara, Hurd, how would it impact the face of boxing considering the welterweights have that may move up? I think that it could affect it if there's a unified champion and it really resonates with boxing fans and there's good money behind it. I think that just the way that these guys are acting though with these, good paydays are very, very good paydays. These $1.5 million, $1.2 million, $1.2 million paydays. That they might be willing to just kind of sit there and take, more lesser competition to keep earning them paychecks for a few fights. But I think Nino Brown, I would hope what it would do is help establish undisputed as a legitimate measurement as to the greatness of an individual of a fighter, and replace the more the completely subjective pound for pound argument that takes place. Because we spend a lot of time talking about, as boxing fans, boxing channels, hearing about it, through mainstream boxing media and the like, where people talk about, who's pound for pound. This is the pound for pound guy, pound for pound guy, pound for pound guy, pound for pound guy. And they put that label on them as a amplification, as a mechanism to amplify the reputation of a boxer based on some subjective determination made by a boxing writer. Where you have undisputed being the holder of the major championship belts, being the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. Those are objective facts. Either you hold the belts or you do not hold the belts. And when somebody holds that belt, if that makes them and it can be held in higher regard than some hypothetical list that changes depending on the person that you ask, that could make a positive contribution to boxing and allow people to see particular fighters as the focal point and an example of excellence within the sport of boxing. So that's my take on that. And great question, Nino Brown. Thank you, sir. And thank you for the super chat. Roy Tabori, knocked down. Okay, my theory is that Cunningham was so much shorter than Fury that overhand right was out of Fury's vision until it hit him. Oh, and you being tall like that, dude. Being tall like that, whenever you get hit from a funny angle, you can go down because you're getting punched up at. There's something to that being high up and having your balance being knocked off with enough pop. But the thing I did see from Tyson Fury in that fight with Steve Cunningham, it was something that woke me up about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is very, very savvy. The way he covered up and cuffed Steve Cunningham's face with his left hand and then slid his hand off and came over it with a right, man, that was a veteran move that got him that knockout, man. And he put all his weight behind it too. I was like, dang. And man, that's what I do miss about Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury told him, you going to get hurt real bad. That's my dude, Tyson Fury. Oh, man. Yeah, let me roll down here a little bit further. Fury has 6 inches on Cunningham, man. He's bigger than everybody, man. He's bigger and longer than everybody. Tyson Fury is he's not to be trifled with, man. I believe that. I believe that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I got to get a sip of water. Yeah. So we back. We're back in the house. All right, man. Let me check the likes and the dislikes. Let me do my pleading. Oh, 168 likes for 161 people in there. This is what's up, man. It's been a good live stream. Lace him up boxing, man. I got Valdez by stoppage. What time? That fight is on. I think that's on ESPN. I'm looking forward to that too. Oh, Fernand Prograis. Oh, this is Corey Lee boxing. Fernand Prograis was ranked 26 out of 140. Now, what do you rate him? You're talking about on BoxRec? BoxRec is ridiculous, man. Their deal is so over. The way that they calculate their ratings is so unnecessarily complex that it produces ridiculous results. At 140 right now, I think it's up to, to rank them. Man, the 140. After tonight, we'll see what happens with Mikey Garcia. Because if Mikey Garcia beats Lipinets and he beat Adrian Brawner, then I might have to say that Mikey Garcia would be the top guy at 140. As of right now, before Emir Imam and Jose Ramirez are going, I'll give Regis Prograis number 2 because he's gone through that. I'd give Josh Taylor, because he's not, got to come over to the United States, give Josh Taylor number 3 or number 4. Is that right? Number 1 would be Mikey Garcia. Number 2, Regis Prograis after his performance last night. Number 3, but Lipinets and those gigs got to happen right now. It's got to be, I'll see after the night. Just be better, but definitely no lower than number 3, depending on where you put Josh Taylor in there. And then maybe, they got Devin Haney who's going to move up, but he's not really fought the competition yet. Also, eventually you're going to have Ryan Garcia come up in the 140 pounds. So, 140 pounds is about to get hot, man. Boxing is hot right now. Definitely hot right now. SJ Fish for now. We need Brooke to go over to HBO to fight Ali to get that WBO belt. Otherwise, how will 140 get a division, get an undisputed champ? Agree or disagree? Well, if Brooke goes over there, yeah, I think you're about right, but I just don't know. Yeah, I think you're right because I don't see Oscar. Is he with? Who's he with, man? Who's Saddam Ali with? Is he with Oscar? Is he with Golden Boy? I can't remember who Saddam Ali is with, man. But yeah, I mean that would help. But for real, I mean I almost hope not for that because, man, Kell Brook need to stop, dog. Oh, he's a Golden Boy. Kell Brook need to stop before he gets hurt, man. Straight up. I think maybe the best we can hope for is unification of the 3 belts. And then, the WBA is just going to hold that belt out. I almost wanted to demote the WBO. I mean, that was more of an opinion. Now I'm like, even with the WBA and the there's just so much nonsense going on with those sanctioning bodies, man. It's like pick a day, depending on the day, who's the worst. And the subject. Like, what's the because this whole thing with Canelo Alvarez, that's ridiculous, man. The way they're handling this. Fanon, can you answer my question, please? Let me go back to Trey X. I'm sorry. Boom, 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 boom. Trey X. Fanon, do you give Crawford more credit for beating Ndungo than Ward beating Kovalev? Not a chance. No, I do not. Not for the single victory. No. And on top of it, Trey X, I wouldn't have had, if Andre Ward was still fighting, I would have Andre Ward number 1 pound for pound. Without a doubt. No. The question for the reason that I would slide Crawford up to be that guy based on the fight with Ndungo is because of the fact that he unified all the belts. And I think that set him apart from Canelo Alvarez, who I was like, I didn't know whether it was, it was neck and neck with Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. And now, because of this computer nonsense, I got that even more solidifies Crawford for me. But no way in the world would I give him more credit for, because Ndungo's not on the level of Sergey Kovalev. I don't like Sergey Kovalev as a person. I think the dude acts like a jerk. But dude is a legitimate fighter, man. And on top of it, Andre Ward had to show what he was about to get that win because he had to get up off the floor in the first fight to do it. And he was moving up in weight, to do it. And the guy was a defending champ in Sergey Kovalev. I mean, well, I guess so was Ndungo, but yeah, that's my take. If that was your question that you were asking, man, forgive me for having missed it originally. And he was undefeated, but he wasn't Sergey Kovalev. You're not Sergey Kovalev, man. Sergey Kovalev was a top pound for pound type of dude on a lot of people's lists. The dude is dangerous, man. I mean, I don't know how dangerous he is now because of what Andre Ward did to him, but I give Julius Ndungo credit, but Julius Ndungo kind of was at this point you can call him a flash in the pan. He got out there and he beat a couple of dudes. He knocked out, got some belts real quick. He did his thing, man. And shout out to him for what he did. But I don't think it's realistic to say that he's on the level of Sergey Kovalev. Trey X says, I asked because for me it's not just about unification. It also matters what you go through to do it. Unifications are not created equal. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying that it's something that you can hold up as an objective truth. Right? I'm not saying that it is the end all and be all to everything. You know what I mean? I mean, it's possible, quite honestly, to have a great fight without a belt. You know what I mean? Like I would say, hey man, if you had Terrence Crawford and Keith Thurman throw the belts in the garbage can and get together and fight, that is the fight between the two. That's a fight that deserves credit. Full credit, regardless of whether or not you got a name stamp to it, So I appreciate what you're saying, Trey X, no doubt. No doubt. Let me roll. Man, thank you guys for showing up to this super chat, man. I call it a super chat. I'm sorry, man, because I always say thank you to the super chats. It's a live stream. Thank you so much. And you guys hit the like button. That'd be much appreciated. And if you guys have not subscribed, subscribe, to the channel. Hit the bell icon so that you can get notified when we do these type of things, man. I do long form videos, and I do long form videos right around 20 minutes. If necessary, I'll go as much up to 30 minutes because I find that it attracts the type of subscriber that is fun to talk to and really does love the sport of boxing and is not just kind of flying by the channel, because they see a name of a fighter that they like, and also trying to push into a situation where we can have real good conversations like this in real time, and share thoughts with one another. So hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so we can continue to grow the live streams. That said, let me get back to these comments. Fanon, what's your take on Roy saying he ranks higher as an all-time great than Mayweather? I think it's a very interesting debate. That's Roy Zabori. I think it hinges on this. The Roy Jones Jr. debate with Floyd Mayweather, because I've done a video on that. I think it hinges on something. Do you say that somebody ranks, do you look at their prime and look at them at their best? Or do you look at the totality of their career, right? So a little bit of it depends on what you value, because it's a subjective thing. I personally, because of all of the different fighters and all of the different nonsense that goes on with the politics of boxing that complicate things, I think that I look at it from the standpoint of the person at their best. So when I look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. and I say, where does he rank in the all-time great category? I look at him at 100 at his best, especially if you're talking about a pound for pound conversation. I look at him at 135 pounds, 135 pounds, and say, man, that dude was, man, I can't see very many 130 pounders, 135 pounders beating him. So with Roy Jones Jr., looking at it from that perspective, I say I don't see anybody beating him. I mean, at his best at 160 pounds, 168 pounds. I mean, he's a special type of athlete. He's got special type of abilities, man, physical abilities that I just don't know of anybody around his weight class having. I mean, when you can beat a Bernard Hopkins at 160, you beat James Toney at 160. I mean, those two wins in the prime of Roy Jones Jr. is better than any wins on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s career. There is no James Toney There's no James Toney on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s career for me. No, not that I can see. So, and there's no Bernard Hopkins. I mean, Bernard Hopkins, and this is the best of Roy Jones. Bernard Hopkins is arguably one of the best middleweights ever. James Toney is one of the best, definitely one of the best 168 pounders. God dog. You know, and Roy has those 2 wins. So I can see Roy's argument, because it's like, damn, that's Roy. But see, Roy, and then Roy went all the way up to heavyweight and beat Joy Ruiz. I mean, he started at 154 and won belts all the way up to heavyweight. And see, what people are looking at with Roy, the distraction on Roy is what happened to him on the way down and what happened to him when he went on too long, right? So, like, if Floyd Mayweather came back and got knocked out by Errol Spence, and he ain't going to do it because he's not going to do that, right? He's more selective in what he does. So if he comes back and say he gets knocked out by Errol Spence, does that mean that all of a sudden he plummets in the all-time great category? Would I do that? I wouldn't do that to Floyd if that happened. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. I would say nah, because he's 42 years old. And I'm really not even looking at welterweight for him. As far as that, I'm not really looking at him like, what did he look against Maidana? What did he look against, like against Robert Guerrero? I mean, none of those guys, that was money-making time, dog. That was money-making time. You know what I'm saying? So, I see Roy Jones' point. I see Roy Jones Jr.'s point. And I think that is, that's a very... I think that Floyd Mayweather's point on it, I think that is a convenient argument for him, right? Because Floyd, and this is because it's him and he's making an argument for himself, he's using what he did as the standard to judge everybody else by. So he'll judge how much money he made as a judgment. But that's not fair, because if he was fighting in 1950, that wouldn't be the case. Because they weren't paying that much money to anybody in the 1950s. It wouldn't be the case. Right? There's not pay-per-view. It's just he's using himself and what he's accomplished as the measurement stick. But if he changed it, if he lost, then he changed the measurement. He'd be like, well, let me at my prime. Nobody in my prime could have beat me. Right? So, that's kind of my take on the argument, man. I think they're both great fighters. I have no issue with Floyd Mayweather Jr. being considered an all-time, one of the most successful boxers ever. He's a hell of a fighter. At 130, 135, dude is a beast, man. You know what I mean? But Curtis, you say Fanon Mayweather better than Jones any day of the week? Oh no. No. He beat James Toney, man. He beat James Toney. James Toney is a monster. He beat Bernard Hopkins. And you see what Bernard Hopkins went on to do. Same thing with James Toney. James Toney went all the way up to cruiserweight and beat Vasily Jurov. No, he's not better than Jones any day of the week. He might be technically more sound than Roy Jones Jr., right? Similar to like the conversation about Deontay Wilder. Yeah, Deontay Wilder has flaws. He has flaws because he relies on his athleticism and his power. Same thing for Roy Jones Jr. If you look at Roy Jones Jr. technically as a fighter, yeah, dude is better technically as a fighter than Floyd. Floyd is better technically than Roy Jones. But you can't take away the dude's athleticism and say it doesn't count. Roy Jones' athleticism and his speed and his power, it counts. That's real. It's there. You have to deal with it. You know what I mean? That's like in basketball, people just... Shaq's no good. Well, Shaq's 7 foot. He's supposed to do that. But, I like, this other guy better than Shaq Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Even though Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored more points than anybody else, he got six rings. He's done, however many blocks he is. The amazing career that this dude has. Nobody talks about him as if he's the greatest basketball player ever. Although if you look at his stats, you can damn sure make an argument that he is. But because people say, he's 7'2", he's supposed to do that. But shit, 7'2", not everybody's 7'2", that's a talent. That's a talent. That's something he brings to the table. It counts. Floyd does not hit as hard as Roy Jones. He's not as fast as Roy Jones. He's not as athletic as Roy Jones. He does not have the top Hall of Fame dude on his resume, like a prime Hall of Fame dude on his resume. I don't know if there is a guy on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s resume that is a prime that he fought a Hall of Famer in his prime. Because when Floyd fought Manny Pacquiao, Floyd wasn't in his prime. You know? Man, Bernard Hopkins was green. Come on, man. You can't say that. Bernard Hopkins was a hell of a fighter at that point. That fight was not close. That fight was a close fight. And Bernard Hopkins was in his prime. He did beat Bernard Hopkins, dog. And James Toney wasn't in his prime. I mean, wasn't green. Bernard Hopkins is a beast, man. Bernard Hopkins was a beast then. But I will box wreck you just for the sake of the argument, man. No, man, you can't mean. Bernard Hopkins is a Hall of Fame fighter, man. And wasn't everybody else beating him? And people knew what Bernard Hopkins was at that point. He just wasn't afraid of him and took the fight. But you know, it's subjective. It's subjective. But I can see the argument being made. I can see the argument being made for either one of them. Yeah, man, this dude, he won a middleweight title the next year and reigned for years. I mean, how much more green was he? He fought, when he lost to Roy Jones Jr. it was 1993, and he won the middleweight championship the next year in 1994, and he held it forever. I mean, dog, he was a year off. He wasn't green. Straight up, dude can go, man. But it is what it is, man. You guys, you can say what you can believe it. I'm cool with you believing what you want to believe. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, snap. I think I messed up something. Because now, I know what happened. I jumped off and I'm sorry. I jumped off the scene that I was watching. So your comments are all like for the last hour, all running through it like hyper speed. Sorry about that, man. I maybe try to go to this live stream again, get back to my channel. Forgive me. This is going to take just a second. Just a second. But yeah, Bernard Hopkins, I don't think he was green. Bernard Hopkins is a great fighter. A straight up great fighter. But, he does have, but Mayweather's greatest performance, he's got some great performances. It's kind of like, what do you like, man? You like a Maserati, you like an Aston Martin, What do you like? I like an Aston Martin. You like a Maserati. They're both great. They're both great cars. I would be more than happy to own, and I can't afford. You know what I mean? Let me make sure that didn't miss anything. Back up a little bit. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Don't repeat that. All right, cool. All right, let me get back to sorry about that, y'all. I got a little side track. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Hold on one second. You guys going somewhere? Love you, man. See you. Sorry about that. I had to let my son in the room real quick. Oh, wow. Okay, that's still there. Cool. All right. Let me try. I think I'm caught up now with the comments in the comments section. Cool. All right, let me go back. I'm going to look for another Fanon. Man, thank you guys for the likes, man. We got a lot. El Fenici says, Fanon Mayweather, best defensive fighter, in my opinion. I don't know, El Fenici. I don't think so. I'll tell you who I think the one that I've seen, Pernell Whitaker. The best defense on a fighter that I've seen is Pernell Whitaker. Whether he's a better fighter than Mayweather's a better fighter than Pernell Whitaker, I think so. Yeah, he's got a better offense. He combined offense and defense better than Pernell Whitaker did. But as far as just the defensive ability, I think the best one that I've seen is Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was something special, man. Uncanny how that dude can afford getting hit. Okay, Junior, Just Junior. Rashidi Ellis speed versus Aerospin's power. Talk about Fanon. Rashidi Ellis? Who's Rashidi Ellis? Maybe it's a fighter I've not heard of. If I gotta admit, I'm not pulling him off my head right now. I can't. Yeah, y'all hit me with something. I don't think I've seen Rashidi Ellis. For now, Mayweather's mind is better than any fighter in history. Emmanuel Stewart said that. I don't know. Is his mind better than Andre Ward's? Curtis Anderson? I don't know. I think Andre Ward's right there with Floyd. That's the thing, man. There's a lot of things. He's a great fighter. And he has everything. That's what Floyd does for me. He can do everything. He's an all-around great fighter. He's not the strongest. He is very, very smart, for sure. He's very, very experienced. He's very fundamentally sound. He doesn't waste motion. I mean, he knows what he's doing in there. He's dedicated to the sport. But I wouldn't necessarily say he has a better mind than, I wouldn't say he has a better mind than Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward's intelligence and just meanness, got him a long way, Roy Sport said, yeah, Floyd is more athletic, Ward's more cerebral. Yeah, that's kind of my take on it. So I think Andre Ward is very, 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 very smart, man. Very smart. And figures out what he's doing in the ring. And, man, is very disciplined. But, they're both way up there. Unburnt Apostle said Ward is more dirty. Nah. Man, are you kidding me? Floyd Mayweather Jr. will do what he has to do, dog. Don't lunch. Floyd will hit you with an arm bar in the throat in a hot second, man. Les Harbor said, man, Fanon dropping knowledge today. Awesome job. Man, I'm pretty glad you like it, man. We going through with it. We having a good one today, man. We having a good one. Ward is a chameleon in the ring, can do it all. Yeah. He's one of my favorite fighters ever, man. Really. I mean, I'm cool if he stays retired. I like that he's retired because now I just get to sit in on it and just be like, yeah, that's my dude. Fanon, this is by far the best live stream interaction on YouTube. These other channels need to take a page from your book. Man, I thank you, SJ Fish 101. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it, man. I had a real good one on. There's a real good one on 78 earlier today. Sean the Icon. Floyd's greatest performance for me was against Hatton. Every time I see it, it brings me to tears. Yeah, dude was beautiful there. My favorite fight for Floyd was, because I ain't gonna lie, man, I love ass whoopings. Arturo Gatti. God dog. That was somebody. That was wow. That was whooping. I mean, that was a whooping. I'm telling you, man, that was like, for me, that was like Floyd Mayweather's Ali versus Cleveland Williams. It's like when you see something and it's like almost perfection in the ring. That's what Floyd Mayweather versus Arturo Gatti was. That was like perfection in the ring. That dude could do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He was at his physical peak. Those counter right hands were so fast. I mean, God, the pull counters are so fast. Wow, that was. And see, cats didn't even know about Floyd then. Like a lot of these dudes were riding Floyd, weren't riding with Floyd, with Castillo, with Corrales, with Gotti, even like Sharmba Mitchell, and and my dude who wore the pink panties. What's the pink panties dude? Does a lot of sparring. Chop Corley, Chop Corley, god dog, man. That I always laugh when I remember how that dude used to rep himself, man. But anyway, yeah, man. So yeah, that was mine for that, man. It was that one. The previous interview was epic. What's the interview? Dog. J Dog. JODOG 215 for 9. He beat out of Gotti and Corrales. Yeah, man, that was crazy. And that brings me back to that dude, Dougie Fisher. Man, that's some cats, man. You got to remember how much these dudes hated him, man. They hated him. Hated the cats from Ring. That guy used to be in Ring, like he's the chief editor of Ring. He used to be with this thing called Boxing, Max Boxing, before he switched over and went to Ring when Golden Boy hired him. Man, that dude hated Floyd Mayweather so bad. He was so much predicting Diego Corrales was going to beat Floyd. And then after Floyd busted him up, basically they were calling Floyd a paper champ and talking about how Floyd wasn't any good. And, he's blah, 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 blah. And to watch those cats eat crow for 10 damn years after that shit was beautiful, man. But then you had to leave Floyd because, once you were in the original Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd crowd supporting Floyd, then he bust out of the top. After that, man, there's so many cats jumped on the bandwagon that got so unrealistic about Floyd. Want to call you? It's like you want to call somebody a this and that and the other thing for saying that he should fight Paul Williams or whatever. But they were nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen when he was fighting Corrales. Nowhere to be seen when he was fighting Jose Luis Castillo the first time, when everybody was dogging Floyd, saying Floyd lost the fight. Wasn't nowhere around for those fights. But then, hey man, you got anything to say bad about Floyd? Now you the worst. Now you just some sellout, some sellout, dude that just, blah, blah, blah. Some sellout casual fan, dog. It's funny how that develops, man. And it's going to happen with and here's my prediction. Same thing would happen with Deontay Wilder. If Deontay Wilder beats Anthony Joshua, goes on a string of wins, all of a sudden, dog, people that might call Deontay Wilder into question about something, they're going to be casual fans and biased idiots and blah, blah, blah. Crazy. For now, Mikey Garcia's father has high praise for Mayweather. Yeah, man, his father was there because his father he was there training Fernando Vargas, and was probably more than happy to have seen Floyd beat Oscar De La Hoya, because Fernando Vargas and those guys are not fans of Oscar De La Hoya, dog. Oh, yeah. The Cali Enigmas. I remember when Costa Zoo ducked Floyd. Yeah, he did. He got knocked out, though. And I don't remember the duck part of it. I remember Costa Zoo giving Zab Judah them chicken legs that made him do the chicken dance. And after that, he got knocked out by, or beat. Yeah, I think he got knocked out by Ricky Hatton. Real, and a lot of people thought that Floyd was going to lose to Ricky Hatton, because Ricky Hatton was, Ricky Hatton was doing his things at the time, man. His father trained Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia is the brother of Mikey Garcia. And the father of Mikey Garcia, I can't remember what his name is. Robert and Mikey Garcia are brothers. The father trained Fernando Vargas. And his father also trained Robert Garcia, who's his brother. Costa Zoo quit on his stool. Okay, thanks to Truth. Yeah, Just Jr. Floyd made a mistake by not fighting Sergio Martinez in 2014. Cotto got Sergio the right time to become middleweight champion. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't say that was a mistake for him not to fight Sergio Martinez, because he didn't really need it. He doesn't have to be a middleweight champion. The dude's a 130-pounder. I think it's smart for him I don't think guys need to move up weight class just, forever. You know what I mean? Like, if he would have won the middleweight champion, then, should he have fought at 168? At a certain point, enough is enough, dog. You move up from 126 and to take fights at 154, hey, man, that's plenty. That's plenty. And I think he's a smart guy, man. Definitely in the boxing ring. In and out of the ring, Floyd's a bright guy. There's no doubt. Anybody would say that Floyd's not intelligent is just, hey, man, you just got a problem with the dude. I can disagree with what he says and what he does, but I'm definitely not gonna doubt the dude's intellectual capacity. Ray Castillo, at Fanon. The first one of the knockouts, Costa Zoo was cool. Vince Phillips, Oh, Fanon, I still got the fight recorded on VHS. You still got a VHS player? Man, that's wild. I think I got my wedding. I think I have my wedding thing on a VHS. My wedding. Oh, God, I should go back and look at that sometime, man. That's so crazy. 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago. Well, right, yep, 20 years ago. 21 years ago. Sign of the Times, TV HQ. Floyd started off at 130, went to 154. He's a winner. Yeah, 130. Didn't he have might have had a second at 126. But if he didn't, my bad. Tunnel vision for 9. Floyd moved up 5 weight classes, but he understood there's a limit. I used to always say, I'm not fighting a 160 pounder at any weight. Yeah, why? I mean, that's too much, man. He ain't got to. I mean, weight classes are real. Lone, if Floyd is a smart fighter, but a dumbass human being. No, he's not dumb. Lone Wolf, not at all. Just because somebody doesn't do what you agree with does not make him dumb. It just means you disagree with him. I don't like the whole way that he represents himself with the money in the cars. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, what do you need a fucking plane for, dude? That's my thought. Why do you need 2 jets? One doesn't do? You know what I mean? That's my thought. But I'm not going to call him dumb. It's just I don't agree with him. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that there's like I said, my cat Neely Fuller Jr. talks about it. Like there are people, who are extreme racists, right? And DLG, billionaires can't be dumb. Yeah, they can. They can inherit and be dumb. You can be a billionaire by inheritance, so you can. However, just my point of the matter, my point is though that like there's some people that are terrible, do terrible crimes, that are blatant racists, and they're not dumb. Like when people say that's ignorance, that's not ignorance. They know perfectly well what they're doing. They're not ignorant. They're not dumb. Matter of fact, they're in large part highly intelligent people who are doing things in a very purposeful manner. They just happen to be morally and ethically pieces of shit. But just because you're moral and ethical, like ethically you're a piece of shit, doesn't mean that you're not a very, very intelligent person. You know what I mean? That's my take on it anyway. This is just because you don't got to be, and somebody's not dumb just because they don't agree with you. They can be very intelligent and you just don't agree with their outcome. But if they thought about it in a very organized and practical way. I mean, and, they believe they draw their conclusions off of the facts that they see. And I think that's a big thing that people need to do. Because if you think that somebody you don't agree with is dumb, it makes you vulnerable. It makes you vulnerable to underestimating them. Do you know what I mean? You don't underestimate people. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not dumb. And very well might be doing what he's doing for purpose. He's made more, like that's one of the very few people that I've seen that actually have made money by wasting money. So, it is what it is, though. The truth, for now, what's the most memorable fight you've ever watched? Oh, my God, man. My favorite fight that I've ever seen is probably, and there's so many of them, but maybe James Toney versus Vasily Jurov. James Toney versus Vasily Jurov was... Man, that was beautiful. That was like brutal. That was like beautiful brutality right there, man. That was an incredible fight. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Arturo Gatti was something that was incredible to watch. Jeez, those two really do stand out for me. Corrales versus Castillo 1 was incredible. Yeah, Hagler Hearns was incredible. Fanon, Ted Bundy was a law student. Look, I'm going to tell you, most of these cats that are there, here's another thing. Many people, to be a true sociopath, you have to be intelligent to be an effective sociopath. And there's a thin line between a sociopath and a psychopath. But generally they're very, very smart. They're very, very good. They're so smart that they intelligence and the ability to process things did not make you a good person. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, there's a guy, that I went to high school with, and dude was a recorded genius. I mean, he's like tested. He's like 168 IQ, had all his, straight A student or whatever dude, but you knew just don't go anywhere near that dude. He wound up tying two people up against a tree and killing them. And didn't even go to his senior year in high school. I mean, because the dude's just out there. I mean, it's just, and that's why I'm saying this intelligence and wisdom are two different things completely. You can be highly intelligent and absolutely be ethically be a piece of crap, and not have the wisdom to do what is right, to be fair and to be just. And I doubt they, Trax, when they say Einstein was 160, I mean, they didn't test him. They're guessing. They're just like, oh, there's a guy that had 275 IQ. How do you know? The dude lived 200 years ago. He didn't take that damn test. Yeah, Mensa, I mean, whatever. With all that shit, really. I mean, come on, man. Whatever. Because, not whatever to you, whatever with the whole discussion. Because they try to put, like, when you even try to put a net present value on somebody that lived 2,000 years ago. Man, the dude was a king. He owned everything. I mean, what are you talking about? How can you put a monetary number on that? That's people just playing games and selling stuff. If a guy didn't take an IQ test, and depending on what IQ test he took, it would be different. I mean, what's the IQ test of the cats that designed the pyramids? I mean, how do you know? Just whatever, man. To that. Anyway, man. Oh, for now, Moore versus Durrell. I actually got to watch that fight. I've never watched Archie Moore versus Durrell. I got to watch that. I got to watch that fight. I actually hadn't done it. So I still got to check it out. Man, this has been a great conversation, man. Yeah, sorry, man. I got to take a little breath, man. Sometimes I talk and I just keep my mouth running for long amount of time and don't catch it. So for now, plus Einstein had a different type of intelligence, work well. Yeah, that's all kind of stuff because you can have. Oh, did Floyd dunk him? That's Mr. C. That's what's up. Did Floyd duck Winky Wright? Winky Wright was fighting at 160, 154, 160. I don't think that was a duck. Not at all. Whether or not Oscar De La Hoya ducked Winky Wright, that's something else. I think that's the case. But nah, I don't think that he did. And Floyd didn't want no Winky Wright, dog. Lord have mercy. He didn't want no Winky Wright. Ali versus Listen is a being blinded thing. Oh, yeah. That was crazy. Hagler Mugabe, yeah, that was good too, for sure. Reese, why people keep hating on Floyd? I don't know. I think there's but if you, man, there's a different thing, man, between hating on somebody and criticizing and critiquing them. Hating is just, you want to say some stuff that's just ridiculous. Like the guy can't fight and he's stupid and he's a cheater and he stole everything that he got and he never fought anybody, and he's not a Hall of Famer and, he's a bum and Lomachenko has a better resume than him. That's hating because it's just not realistic. But if you say you disagree with what he said or his opinion on something, at least that's how I view. Lone Wolf said, who you got, Garcia or Lipinets? I got Garcia by KO. I take Garcia, but I think Garcia by decision, only because I haven't seen Lipinets enough to say that he's going to knock out Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets. Shout out to D-Style Bison, who I never see on the chats, man. I'd like to see him. Corey Lee Bison, I think a lot of guys are underestimating Kel. Oh, my God, dog. Corey, dog, come on, man. The dude got no eye sockets. Okay, but I'll read the question. Fanon, I think a lot of guys are underestimating Kell Brook. For real, dog beats Charlo and Arrow. This time, eyes fixed, dog. Okay. I hear you. El Fenici Fanon, you streaming after or before the fight, Wrench Gang? Before. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it. Damn, what time? Because 10 o'clock, that's so hard for me to believe I'm actually going to do that at that late a time. But I'll probably do it. What time is it now? It's 1 o'clock. I'll probably do it before or after. Hit the like button. Hit the icon. And tune in, man. Sometimes my streams get affected because I don't want to counter program certain people. So, like, if I check it out, I'll try to wait and see if 78 Sports TV is going to do a live stream because he's been doing more live streams, and I don't want to do one at the same time he's doing. I like to get that dude deference on his live streams. So I try not to counter program dudes for where people that come to my channel also go to theirs. So it kind of depends. If it's before and there's nobody live streaming, I might jump in there and start it. You know what I mean? After is always a little bit of a problem because there's always a ton of them going on afterwards. So, Fanon, you mentioned Chop Chop, Corley. I watched Corley and Mayweather the other day. Corley hurt Mayweather a few times. It was a good fight, kind of a war. Yeah, he's at Southpaw, man. Southpaw, and he was moving up in weight. Chop Chop can fight, man. Still can fight. Still get out there. Does a good amount of sparring. Kinesthetic intelligence is recognized for intelligence. That would be Mayweather a physical genius. Yeah, I mean, you can cut it up any way. Honestly, man, I believe if you took any of these dudes and taught them anything and you give them enough base fundamentals, they'll do fine at it. I mean, he's not going to be a mathematical genius. He never spent any time doing math. People even these guys that are mathematical genius, they learn the principles of it, and they love it. They practice it. They have a good time with it. They got a talent for it. But it is what it is, dog. It is what it is. Well, look, I'm about to bounce up out this joint. I want to thank everybody in the super chat. Thank everybody that tuned in. Oh, Fanon and Mickey Ward, Emmanuel Augustus is underrated classic. No doubt, man. That was a great fight too. But I want to thank everybody with about 2 hours and a half on this joint. If I don't got any more questions or whatever, I'm going to run up out of here. I want to thank the super chats. Ron Finkel, you my dude. Curtis Anderson, thank you so much, man. I love going back and forth with you, Curtis Anderson. We don't always have to agree with everything, but I respect your opinion, man. Thank you, sir. Suave House Boxing, thank you. Super DJ 512, thank you. Super DJ 512, thank you again. Cali Enigma, Mark Blake, Super DJ, K Brooks, Super DJ. Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. Much love today, Super DJ. Edward Edwards, Akabin, Super DJ in the house, man. Matt Wade, Nino Brown Boxing. So much appreciate y'all. It's definitely going to go to the cause. We're going to make it work. And let me check one more time. Just make sure that I don't see anything hanging out there. And your boy Fanon is hitting the bricks. I'm out. Peace.